All right, all right, all right. All right, all right, all right. Come on in, beautiful people. Sorry about that. I know there was a little bit of an issue with the sound, so I wanted to go out and come back in so that we didn't have any issues. So I'm going to go ahead and put the topic back up. Um, every time I try to figure this out. There we go. That's the right one. Boom. All right. Topic for discussion back up. Thank you guys for being here. Sorry about that. I wanted to make sure you guys could see me. We are back. Okay. Um please tap the screen. Come on in. Come on in. Join in. It is Conversation Saturdays. You guys know how I do. You guys know how I get down. I am going to be if we're dropping, if we're speaking facts, definitely drop a mic. Every time you hear somebody speaking facts, drop a mic. Okay. Now I am not at my desk this time because I'm also multitasking and doing my daughter's hair. But we're going to have this conversation today. So please come on in. Thank you for the gifts. Thank you for the love. Tap the screen so that we can get many people in here to talk about this topic. I do apologize. I had to go out and come back in since a lot of people said that the way that it sounded wasn't the greatest. So I want to talk about this topic. Come on in, guys. Come on in. And the reason why I want to talk about this topic is because many people are being mistreated for their belief system. I think it's disgusting to talk against someone because of their belief system. Um, I really think that that type of thing is disgusting, and people should be able to kind of believe what they would like to believe, very respectfully. And what tends to happen is people are not able to believe this very respectfully. So people always argue, people always get frustrated, people always telling people, no, you're wrong, you're incorrect, you're this, you're that, and that is not the case. So please come on in, come on in, come on in. Hi, thank you guys for joining. I am a certified spiritual life coach and practitioner, and today is Discussion Saturday. Da-da-da-da. Please request if you have over 1,000 followers. It is very important for you guys to be respectful. I do not in any way, shape, form, or fashion mistreat someone because of their belief system. Why? Because there is no right or wrong way to the way that you worship, right? So y'all see at the top right here, we have the mics here. So anytime you feel we're speaking facts, drop those mics in the chat or choose the mic for a gift. I don't care, whichever one you do. I shut down on Christians because I ran like hell away from the church. No mistreating, just avoiding. So for me, I believe as an ex-Christian and ex-First Lady, there is nothing wrong with walking away from a faith or belief system that did not work for you. You have the right to make choices in your life to choose to go down a different path. And if you were mistreated, great, you walked away. If it didn't resonate with you anymore, there's nothing wrong with walking away from something that does not resonate with you. And that does not mean you're going to hell because of it. Hi, babe. Thank you for joining. Discussion Saturdays is at Way. Y'all know how we do. Come on in. Thank you. Thank you. Listen, I have answers to these questions. I want to hear everyone else. You ask me, I'm going to tell you my answers. I'll always type up my own answers before I even start these discussions. So come on through, y'all. Loving me first. How are you, baby?
I am great. I thank you. It was a minute I couldn't catch you because I went back to work. Uh, but I'm just happy to be here in the discussion. I'm just happy to be amongst people that
Okay,
have
okay.
some of the same beliefs.
Okay, awesome, awesome. Well, I wanted to make sure I did the discussion today and gave you guys the opportunity to really talk about this because some people tend to automatically assume that once you're spiritual that you don't believe in God. And that's far from the truth for some people. Now, mind you, there are some people that don't believe in God as a whole. They believe in more so a higher power. They believe in, higher self. There is so many things that is, the writing is cutting off some. It just says all things spiritual with a spiritual life coach. The important things are what's seen. So I like to make sure we have these talks because it's very important. Hello, how did you become an ex-Christian and what happened to make you not be Christian? Um, so I'm going to answer that question and then I'm going to let Loving Me First answer some of the questions she see here. Anyone who is here, if you have a difference in how you feel, please join in to talk about the topic very respectfully. I would appreciate that. Okay. Um, for the person who asked what happened to me to make me leave Christianity, it didn't resonate with me anymore. So there was a lot of things that happened in my life and in my journey. I ran a church, preached for over 8 years, running a church and helping many people with their lives. I was always open then, and I'm open now. And a lot of things that I experienced came from my childhood, my time as a first lady, and even my research kind of brought me down a path to really realize that being spiritual was more what I needed to do instead of being a part of an organized religion. So, one day I'll do a big video to talk about it all on my YouTube, but there was a lot associated with it. And I'm more happy and I'm more at peace at this current moment in my life. And there's nothing wrong with changing your faith or your belief system for something different. As long as you're not hurting people, as long as you're not harming people, as long as you're not mistreating people, uh, changing your belief system, if it happens, it happens. There's nothing wrong with that. So we had so many protected pedophiles in the church. Yes, I saw that. Those were some of the things that I experienced. Even my spiritual father out here in Nevada, who is no longer my spiritual father, they kept and protected him, even though they caught him sleeping with a 16-year-old in the church. And then when she had the baby, they let him adopt him. These are things that I just no, I could not be a part of that type of group. Loving Me First, babe, how do you feel about some of these questions here? And for those who are here, if you guys want to ask me how I feel about them, I do have my answers already typed up for you.
Okay, so I feel like a lot of people do question um, because I say I'm spiritual. Oh, you don't believe in God? That's not true. I do believe that there is a God. I just don't believe that. First of all, let me say I have nothing against anybody else's religion.
Nope.
Whatever you believe in, that's for you. That's fine. But for me, I got to a point where I started questioning, can't there got to be more than this? Like it's got to be more than just reading what's out of this Bible. And I was afraid to say or speak to people because most of my friends were Christian. And my sister told me stop saying something said or something told me. So the spirit told me to ask a particular person, and I did, and that's when everything opened up for me.
Mm-hmm.
It was a cousin that actually went to church with me, and she said, just start doing your own reading, your
Right.
own research, start, you know um crystals, small things, and work your way up. And then maybe a few months I started with TikTok and I found you. And believe it or not, I'm not on a lot of your lives, but I'll hear something you say and I'll go research it
Mm-hmm.
because I want to find out how I feel about that. It's just, to me, it's easier.
Not
It's
the same, guys.
it's my, you're able to have your own opinion of something without somebody saying, no, you're wrong. You can't do it that way. You have to do it this way. Well, you don't have to always do things in the same way to get the same result.
No, you don't. And I tell people that often, no matter how much I teach or show someone how to do something a particular way, I'm never going to say that my way is the right way. Now, if I'm teaching someone the way that like an old school tradition is with manifestation, when it comes to like, some of the old magic workings, well, then I'm showing you the old ways that they did it way before we were ever born. So do your own research before you interject yourself into something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you're right. There is no specific way to spirituality. There is no specific way to God. Everyone's walk is going to be different. Um,
Different. Yeah.
for me, I feel like the first question is a very tricky one because there's a broad concept that can mean different things to different people when it comes to spirituality and the absence of God. And what I mean by that is generally the sense of connection is for a person themselves. So whether or not the person has a belief in God or a higher power, depending on the individual's beliefs or worldview, they may or may not believe in God. And
Mhm.
that should be okay. I'm gonna say spirituality is not necessarily the absence of God, but it also doesn't necessarily require a belief in God either.
Hmm. Explain.
The reason why spirituality doesn't necessarily require a belief in God is because ultimately it's up to the individual to decide in their belief system and what it means to them and how it fits into their belief system, how it fits into their circle. So let's say I didn't believe in God whatsoever, but I was
Mhm.
still meditating. I was still spiritual. I believed in a higher power. I believed in source. I believed in the I am. Maybe I believe that I was a God on earth, right? I
Mhm.
still am somewhat spiritual because I believe in something greater than self.
Right, but isn't that you? So your God? Okay, I know what I want to say, but it's kind of going crazy in my head. So
Okay, take your
not to
time.
believe, not to believe in God, or a spiritual superior being. Um, so you would believe in self and what self can do. Meditation brings out a higher self. Also, like to me, people say meditation, but to me, doing a singing bowl actually works better for me. I
Okay.
don't know why. Meditating, I seem to go to sleep, and a lot of people say, "Oh, that's good," but no, it's not. I'm not meditating. I'm asleep, and I think they misconceive me when I say I'm going to sleep when I meditate, and everybody's like, "Oh, that's good. That means you're deep in thought." No, I'm asleep. I can't get when I do the meditation, it's just not working for me. It's putting me to sleep. And I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
It can be both. And it depends on how your meditation practice works. Like ultimately, you don't have to. And y'all who are here, please tap the screen so we can get as many people in as possible. If you're in the box, you don't have to tap the screen because it'll send the views down. But listen, you don't have to meditate a certain way. You can meditate with music. You can meditate with your singing bowl. You can meditate in the park. You can meditate, however. You can listen to high vibrational music, close your eyes and meditate. It just depends on how things work with you. When they say that that's a good thing, that's because a lot of people are used to the fact that when they meditate they go into a trance, and so going to sleep is almost like going into a trance.
Oh, okay.
And
Mhm.
Cece, correct me if I'm wrong, but how I am when I'm sleeping, it's literally like I'm traveling. So depending on your gifts and depending on what the divine has given to you, you could be going to sleep to get to that plane. So it depends on where your gifts lie.
Yeah. It definitely depends
Okay.
on your gifts, your spirituality, your walk with God, your walk with, whatever it is. All of that depends on you. And when you're traveling, it's more like a what do you call that? It's more like you're astral traveling. You're traveling in space and
Hmm.
time.
Okay, so can I ask the question? I have this.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm 51, and I never knew I had a gift, is what I'm trying to get to, until like it had to be 4 years ago. It was a really bad experience with a breakup, but it
Mhm.
wasn't the breakup. It was the things that was done during the breakup with the mother, and a lot of things that she was saying and doing. Hindsight is 2020. I didn't realize it then
Mhm.
until I stepped out of it and looked back in. But I'm gonna tell you, during that time, and this is the only time in my life it's ever happened, I was seeing spirits. I was seeing things that was connected to him and his mom.
Mhm.
And I was feeling things that I couldn't explain. I know I just knew when I was feeling it, it was like an immediate feeling of rush, go, go. Like it was just pushing me to go, like leave. You got to get out of this.
Mhm.
And that day I literally left with only the clothes I could fit in my trunk of my car and my cooking supplies, because I love to cook. I had to take all my pots. But other than that, it had never happened before. And ever since that day, I've always had a yearning that there is something more out there other than this Christian belief, because she was a pastor, but the things she was telling me was not pastor like slam your Bible on the dining room table and slap it 3 times at midnight. I'm like, what? I didn't understand none of that until after everything was happening. The reason why she never came to the house when he invited
Hold
her
on, pause. She said, "Slam your Bible on the table 3 times."
on the dining room table and slap it 3 times. She also told me that she could never visit my house because I personally did not invite her.
She
And I
sound,
thought
she
that
sound
was
like a
odd.
Christian vampire. What is going on here, y'all?
She sounds, and when I tell the story, I promise nobody believes me, but my sister believed he started acting like he was actually dealing with somebody that wasn't there.
Oh
He'll
wow.
be talking and be like, stop touching me, acting crazy, like he was going crazy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That sounds like some vampire work, and I'm not even gonna lie to you because ultimately, I mean, in Christianity, and this is another thing. And this is why I like to tell people, people are quick to say that what we're doing is of the devil. But y'all do weird stuff all the time in Christianity. I was a part of it. I watched it. Slap the Bible 3 times. Is what you said. She said to you. But for me, they used to tell
Exactly.
us to take your prayer, write it down, like how we tell people to journal, that they call New Age. But they used to tell us to take our prayers, write it down, and put it in the Book of Psalms. What's that? What's that? That's manifestation. You're putting it in the Book of Psalms. You're putting it in the spell book. You're saying,
Yeah.
hey, I need this manifestation to happen. I'm putting it in the Book of Psalms. They used to be like, you know what? They tell us, they say, tarot cards are evil. But in the
Mm-hmm.
church, they used to look at us and say, sit down, open your Bible, and whatever it flip open to, that's what God needed you to know at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, y'all. The same type of superstitions is in all the spiritual belief systems.
And don't forget, CC and Christianity, by the way, that is what I identify most with, but I'm starting my journey away from it, by the way, anybody who's listening, for very similar reasons, church hurt, multiple things. But don't forget that we have prophets in some of the divisions of Christianity. So they will sit there, they will pray on you, lay hands with you, anoint you with oil, and they will prophesy to you. So how is that any different than Cece, our goddess here,
Exactly.
as a seer? How is that any different?
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
But because she doesn't identify and fit into their building, you know what I'm saying? Then she's not okay. That's wrong to me.
Yeah, and see, and that's what I'm trying to get to. And that goes back to the second question. Everything we're talking about right now. Are there any common spiritual beliefs shared by those who believe in God? I'm noticing a lot of commonalities between all of these religions, and no one's
Mm-hmm.
paying attention to them. No one's seeing it. Prayer and manifestations are the same things, and for some reason, Christianity, you guys, the Christians are believing that we are a part of New Age spirituality, and it's not the case.
But
It's,
see, that's where
it's far from
that's
it.
where I struggle. That's where I struggle because really holistically, if we actually look at it, how does it identify as who we are today? Back in, let's call it the Old Testament, there were all of these things, right? There were people who laid hands on people. There were people who could foresee the future, prophets. There were all of these people. So you're telling me between the Old Testament and the New Testament, all of that just went away? No. You try to put me in a box to tell me that I
Mm-hmm.
no longer had these gifts. And
Exactly.
loving me first, this goes to you. We literally have been conditioned by the world, by the church as
Mm-hmm.
Christians. We have been conditioned that it is a sin to have said gifts. How are you
Right.
going to tell me at the end of the day that what God has given to me is not of Him? Just because I don't see
Exactly.
it your way, don't mean that it's wrong. Because you
Exactly.
just a man or a woman, just like me.
Exactly.
Exactly. Now, the Bible also does say if somebody prophesies over you and it does not come true, it's not of him. But he didn't say it had to be a Christian, a Jew, a spiritualist. He didn't say who it was. He
Mm,
just said if you
Mm-hmm.
prophesy something that don't come true, they're not really a prophecy.
well,
They're not doing it,
Mm.
maybe they're doing it for money, but they're not doing it for the right reasons.
yes, come on with it. I just had somebody come in my chat last night and tell me that when I prophesied to her a month ago about her getting her place, she came in to tell me she got her place. I just had someone come
Look
in
at that.
earlier today as I was starting this live to tell me that she got her nurses she got into nursing school, in which I told her she would. And so that goes back to what you just said.
But see, Goddess, this is another thing that I've noticed. When people get somebody to prophesy over them, they don't feel like they have to do nothing, but you still have to do the work to get the result.
You sure do. You
It's
gotta
not like I'm gonna
manifest that
say,
thing. You gotta pray.
"Oh,
You
you
gotta
going
meditate. You gotta interview, whatever it is. You have to do the
right."
working.
It's not gonna mysteriously appear. You still have to do that work. You can't just sit around and say, "Oh, I'm gonna find a man. She told me I was gonna get married next year," but you don't never go outside.
Period.
Where the man
Come
gonna
on with
come
it.
from?
Come on with it. Come on with it. And um ultimately it's very important for you to do the work, for you to do the works, just like when it comes to healing. Both myself and Miss Kim, we've healed people back in the day. She's definitely healed more than me because I stopped laying on hands at one point because I was tired of the weird fake people. But you can heal someone of an ailment, but if y'all go back to eating low vibrational and crap that ain't good for your
Right.
body, you gonna go back to having that exact same issue you had before it was healed.
Right.
Now, good day, everybody. Grand Rising.
Grand Rising.
So I jumped on because I do have to bring unfortunately, I have to bring a correction. the Bible does say, how do we know if they're a prophet? If the prophet speaks to you and it doesn't come to pass, then do not be afraid of them, is what it says. But at the same time, we have one gift. Everybody has one gift, whether you're a prophet, whether you are a psychic or seer or whatever term you want to use. We all have the same exact gift. There's no gifts in the church, there's no gifts in the world. We all share the same exact gift because it comes from one place only, and that is the spirit realm, which is the divine. I think that's where a lot of the Christians have this misconception. They're thinking that, we're operating in a different realm than they are. Now, there's different realms as far as spiritual levels are concerned. But when it comes to the gifts that were instilled in us from the mother's womb,
Yeah.
we all operate in the same realm.
Yes. Now there are
As
others. Hold on, Miss Kim, because I'm gonna go back to what you texted me the other day. There are others who can seem like they're speaking in a spirit of truth, but they're not
Absolutely.
actually speaking in a spirit of truth.
Absolutely. Because oftentimes people don't realize, people always say, oh, the devil can't speak truth. The devil can't tell the truth. That is an absolute lie because, for one, the devil only exists in Christianity. The devil does not exist in other faiths, other beliefs, other
Nope.
practices. He was made up in
Sure
Christianity.
was.
Because if you go back and read ancient texts, there is no devil.
Mhm.
However, there is a a Lucifer, and people have to realize these angels, they walk side by side with the God, the Father Himself, so they can speak exactly what you and I can speak. They can speak truth, they can speak lies, and they're cunning and deceiving. So if they want to deceive you, yeah, they'll give you some bits and pieces of some truths, but then that something to come up or something to happen, and then here you find out, wait, they was lying this whole time. But don't we do that in the world today? We tell people what we want them to hear. That's how I can easily put it. We tell people what we want to hear. That doesn't mean
Yes,
it's
there
necessarily
are many
true.
gods. There are many gods
Yes,
and
it's true.
devils. Okay, and so what let me break it down to you a little differently. There are many gods, there are many angels, and there are many lower angels. And so here is where the problem arises. And when I'm talking to you guys about some of my studies are a little ancient. Okay, so I'm gonna give you a little bit of information that I want you to look up on your own. Before Christianity, every single being, the 12th dimensional beings, the angels, they were both the higher angels and the lower level angels. They were never called demons or they were never called devils. They were always called angels. They were just lower angels who did, other things other than what the higher angels did. It was Christianity and Mr. King James with the demonologue who decided to call the lower angels demons.
Exactly.
So y'all
And
got to go digging
Christianity, I
a little
think,
bit. You got to dig a little bit. You got to dig a little bit. I just want to
yeah.
help y'all with that real quick.
And I think the issue, most Christians believe Christianity is the only religion. Christianity actually is the second youngest religion, and it's highly plagiarized. It's literally the second youngest. Islam is the youngest. So you have to understand, there Christianity simply means that it was an English term that was given more than 600 years after
Hmm.
Jesus died, and it just simply meant that you was a follower or a believer of Christ. That's all it meant. It's not even a religion. It's not. It really is not a religion.
Nope. Because
Actually,
actually,
is Judaism. The
thank,
real the actual religion is Judaism,
hmm,
not Christianity.
yep.
And so when you go back and you look at the actual quote unquote religion, spiritual walk, or faith, whichever you choose to use, it still is the second youngest practice out of all the faiths. It doesn't even fall under the top 10 oldest religions. It actually falls under that. So you have to take in consideration of where your religion actually falls into in line.
Hmm.
And then you just got to start doing some digging to go back past there to honestly understand what things meant. But unfortunately, I know people don't like to hear that, but there was no heaven, no hell, and no devils in any other faith besides Christianity.
That is correct.
That's when heaven, hell, and devils came in, only in the Christian faith, or the Judaism faith, I should say.
Mm-hmm. Correct. Because ultimately, most of the other religions and spirituality believe in negative and positive forces. They believe in angels. They believe in elementals. Um, everyone from everyone from the days of old, when they looked at the lower and when they actually worked with the lower angels, that the Christians call demons, they believe that you could work with those forces just as well as you could work with angels. And that's a different sector of people that believe that. But ultimately, I agree with you though. I think people need to dig and research and kind of do their history. Automatically believing what people are saying without researching is definitely not smart, not in today's age.
So, Goddess, with you and Miss Kim, I wanted to ask,
Sure.
okay, with my um digging and researching, where would you guys suggest that someone starts with the research?
Where did you come from? What was your faith? Was your
I was
faith?
a Christian.
You was Christian?
I
Okay,
Christian,
so
yes.
I personally would start with your research on the Bible. When it was created, who changed it, how many times it was translated,
Mm-hmm.
how Christianity kind of came in, um, and removed the uh, our colored faith and belief systems. And this is not just the African American people. We're talking about the Native American, the Mexicans, all of those individuals who practiced more so of the voodoo, the voodoo hoodoo, the palo mayambe, the
Right.
Kinoki, all of the older religions and ATR, African spiritualities. I would advise you digging into how the Bible came about and how Christianity forced their way in. Um, because and the reason why I say dig into that, because you begin to uncover some truth. Because they did not just dig their way in on our skin color, they also dig their way in on the Europeans. You got the Salem witch trials. You have so many things that
Right.
happened, and Christianity was at the forefront of all of it, forcing their way in. So I would definitely kind of do some research on history of all that.
Okay.
Yeah. And
And I would say if
then
you
I
can
would
get
go
a,
further.
oh, so go ahead.
And wait. Let me take it a step further. The Council of Nicaea. Look into the Council of Nicaea. Look into the Constantines. Look into how the Roman Catholics also did a lot of changes in that plagiarized Bible because they didn't want people to believe a certain way. You got to dig. You're gonna be digging for a while.
Wait a minute, because I'm trying to write it down.
Yeah, you're gonna be digging. You definitely gonna be digging.
Okay, the Council of Nazir.
Miss Kim, did you mean to mute that
Nicaea.
person?
Nazir.
Yeah,
Okay. Um,
I understood what he was saying. I
where can
checked his page, so I looked at his page first. So I knew what he was saying. He was being sarcastic. Yeah.
Okay. Where can we
Hmm.
get that information from? So, for those of you who may not be sure where to look and how to go dig deep, I do have books available in my bio. These are not my books. So let me say that one more time. These are not my books. Let me repeat that for a third time. These are not my books. These are ancient PDFs that I have from history. And so I have books from the 15, 16, 1700s, all on, oh God. We can talk about witchcraft. We can talk about voodoo and hoodoo spirituality, working with the archangels. So many different collections that I have available. You can actually find some information in some of those books. Um, one of my research and I talked to Miss Kim about it. One of my favorite things that I researched and found out was that the original story of Jesus was not that of we know it today.
Yeah.
And I found that in the Kabbalah collection. So whatever your belief system is, you want to go dig back into the history of it first and foremost. But in my Kabbalah collection, I read this one book called Did Jesus Live 100 BC? And in the midst of reading this book, this guy was able to actually tell us that the Israelites had a different story than what Christianity has. And in the Israelite story, Jesus was born of a harlot and not of a virgin. In the Israelite story, he stole magic and performed magic and claimed to be the son of God.
Mm-mm-mm.
Now that's all I'm gonna tell y'all. You gotta read for yourself. You gotta read for yourself.
And
Well,
it's funny that you're mentioning. I'm sorry. It's funny that you're mentioning the Kabbalah because that's actually where I am right now. As I have moved from the Christian and digging into that history upon Cece's suggestion, I have moved over to the Kabbalah and I'm starting to see alignments through that, which matches up to what Miss Kim is saying with the Judaism, because the book I'm reading, he literally was raised as in Judaism and then looked into Buddhism.
Yep.
So then he started talking about Kabbalah, and that's called The Gates of Light, Cece. I'm sure you know that book.
Yep. See what I mean? When you
Yeah.
start digging a little
A
bit
lot of people
further.
don't know it. Yeah, a lot of people don't know it was Judaism and Buddhism. Buddhism actually is where it really. I mean, there's some older than Buddhism, but the English term of it all was the Buddhism. That's really what started all of the Christian faith. That's like where everything literally came from. And but I also was going to tell her the Emerald Tablets. The Emerald Tablets would be a good fit also for someone who's wanting to know about their Bible. Now, I will warn you on this. If you still proclaim to be Christian, it's going to kind of crush that because it's going to give you the truth about the Torah.
and I want that
Yeah,
because I am torn because that's all I've known my whole life.
I did
That's
too.
where I grew up.
I did too, sweetie,
But
and it's okay. It's
I
listen,
just wanna like I
it's gonna
know
hurt
there's
though.
gotta be more out there than what reading this book about this white man that even with my research when I was younger and I was in college and my grandma kept saying let it go, but I started
Tap
looking
the
up
screen, guys.
Bibles that was taken out of the Bible, books that was taken out of the Bible. And I started reading things and I'm questioning her, and she's like, no, let's not talk about that. And I'm like, I couldn't
Absolutely
understand
not.
why.
Absolutely not. I hate when they used to do that because that's why they didn't like me in Christianity. Because one time I got in trouble because I decided to preach from the book of Sirach. That's a missing book in the Bible. One time
Right.
I got in trouble because I decided to preach from the book of Jashir. Okay, so and these are missing books from the Bible that I found over time, and they would get upset at me and be like, no, we only preach from the 66 books. I said the 66 books from a plagiarized man who didn't like women, and he removed most of the women's names in the Bible who were prominent.
Mhm.
And he changed the skin color of all of the people in the Bible because the people in the Bible, they not Caucasian, they not of Caucasus. Let me help
Yeah.
y'all. Most of
Yep.
those people are not of Caucasus. They are of Egyptian skin tone, our skin tone, etc. And they playing y'all. I'm telling
Mhm.
y'all.
And unfortunately, it's not even most. The one place that unfortunately the YT man or woman does not exist is the Bible. They weren't existing, they weren't created yet. They weren't walking the face of this earth. So all this foolishness, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say it that way. Let me correct myself because I don't want to offend nobody for their faith. But everything that we believed in and all the harmful things that's written in that book came right from my very own skin folk.
Mhm.
Because it was forced upon us. Y'all got to remember. If you
Yes.
Hmm.
um
And it wasn't by the YT man, it was by our very own people.
yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, listen, let me tell y'all something. You have to dig deep into your religion and belief system, but you also got to dig into your history. How did people become slaves? They actually forced it on them by forcing Christianity on them. They had slave Bibles. There were so many things that happened. They said, that belief system they got going on, that hoodoo, that voodoo, that power, that spirit, they healing people. We want them to believe this stuff. We want them to believe this. And if they don't believe this, we gon'
Can I share something that I learned? And it's right here where I'm from. I'm from South Carolina, by the way. In the coastal area down in Charleston, I've spent a lot of time. Did you know that they would not even let, and I'm talking about the white man, and I can say that because, hello, you see my skin, look at my picture, took away the book that you guys had.
Yeah.
Took it away.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're telling the truth.
Would not let them have their spiritual beliefs on their land.
No.
Exactly.
You want to know why? Because that is a spiritual, powerful people that they tried to undermine and took it away from them to try to get their generations to unlearn it.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm
And
sorry,
that's
I didn't
one
mean to
reason
speak over nobody, but I'm just going to share that.
No,
You're
you're
fine.
fine.
You're
You're fine. Miss Kim, this is Kat. She's one of my original moderators.
Oh,
Hi, Miss Kim.
hi. How are you?
You heard about me. I've been a little MIA for reasons, but I'm getting back.
Miss
Yeah, I
Kim,
heard you was MIA.
she was
Yes.
MIA because of that thing that I told you about, where they
I
said,
figured that.
yeah,
I figured that. Because you were supposed to be giving me her
Yes,
name
ma'am.
so I can go in her inbox and make her come back.
yep. And
Because I was like, you need to get your butt back over here because I don't like that. So,
I just wanted to make sure that it wasn't a thing for my goddess CC.
Yeah, no. And
So,
I'm glad that we're all talking
I'll leave it
today
at that.
because listen, we're all here to enlighten everyone. And I have nothing against the color of anyone's skin. I believe that we should all learn too. And always research. And so I'm always gonna tell you guys to research. Don't believe me. Go look at old books and don't look at nothing in the 2000s. Go look at shit older than you and me put together, because that's the only way that you're going to find real history. You have to go dig deep. It's the only way. It's that, and that's one of the reasons why I let go of Christianity, not just because of the things I saw, but the plagiarism and so many things that didn't make sense. I didn't want to be a part of that faith or belief system anymore.
Right.
Yes, and I have some books that are older in my bio. When you click purchase rare ebooks of knowledge, each collection is like
Miss CC, I'm gonna drop.
Go ahead, baby. Each collection is like 11, maybe 15.
I'm gonna drop. I just want to say goodbye.
Bye.
see you
You
later.
guys can definitely book some of the collections. I will send them to you immediately. Between today and tomorrow, I always send them out. I give you each one of those books to be able to view. There's hundreds and hundreds of books in each collection. They're very, very old. Much love, baby. Thank you for coming by. If you don't want to buy any of my collections, just go look at the collections, look at the names of some of them, and see if you can find them online. You gotta dig. Yes, you can come on in. Come on in. Let's see what we got here. Come on in. But Miss Loving Me First, did that kind of help you on how to do a little bit of research? I think Miss Kim knows how to spell the Council of Nicaea better than me.
Hello.
Okay, I need for you to spell that
Miss Kim, go ahead and
Nicaea.
spell that for her.
If I remember correctly, it's NICEA. I feel like I'm missing a letter. Hold on.
Let me see.
I feel like I'm missing. I done forgot myself.
Hello.
Yes, hi. Thank you for joining.
Hey, how's it going?
NICEA.
Council
Okay.
of Nicaea.
Okay. All right.
Thank you for joining. How
No,
are you
it's
today?
Nicaea. I knew I was missing a letter.
And I see.
Nicaea.
Okay.
Yeah, I knew I was missing something. Nicaea.
Thank you.
Hi, thank
Thank
you
you.
for
You're
joining,
welcome.
guys.
Wait, so I have a
I know you
question.
might
I have
be
a
new
question.
here. Thank you for joining. So, what question do you have for me today?
All right, so you said you dropped Christianity. What exact religion or what belief do you follow?
I do not follow a set religion, no organized religion. So I am a spiritualist. I am a certified spiritual life coach and practitioner. And my belief is associated with more so of eclectic and esoteric kind of views. And so for me and me only, I don't know about everyone else, but my belief and view is mixed. However, I still believe that there is a God, and not all spiritual people believe in there being a God, but I still believe in there being a God.
Hmm. I understand. So you believe that there is a higher power after all.
Yeah, I do. Some people do not.
Hmm.
Okay, but I do.
So do you believe that higher power is associated with a religion or just on its own?
Absolutely not. I believe that the religions were more so for control, and the religions were more so for structure. I do not believe that you have to be connected to a religion to believe in God or the power of God.
Wait, so do you believe you can follow God without being in a religion?
Yes,
Absolutely.
absolutely.
Yes.
Because
So
See,
how would you do
your
that?
spiritual walk is between you and you alone. Before there was ever a
Bam.
religion, if you believe that there was a higher source, the people who started praying before there was ever a religion, wondering if there was ever a God, there was nothing to structure them on what to do and how to do it. They just believed.
I
and I'm gonna
mean,
give you the etymology. The etymology, which is the oldest
Please, because I'm doing my
definition.
daughter's hair right now. I don't got time to bring it up. So please, etymology of it.
Oh,
You know.
so the etymology, which is the oldest definition before a dictionary, encyclopedia, Britannica, all that stuff. Religion means to bind,
Yep.
and
Mhm.
spirituality means to breathe.
Yes.
So before there was ever a religion that was ever created, our ancestors practiced spirituality, which is
Mhm.
actually within religion to this day. Most of what different religions practice is exactly what our ancestors practiced in spirituality. It's just later came some man named King James, who happens to be a melanated copper colored man. He came along later and took bits and pieces from other religions while translating Wyclif's Bible, which was the original translation into English at its purest point, and then he added and took away exactly what he told you not to do, when not you personally, but when you're preaching and teaching, not to add and take away. King James did exactly that. He added and he took away what fit the narrative at that time. But you have to keep in mind those two definitions.
Yeah.
Religion means to bind, and Christianity means, I mean, I'm assuming spirituality means to breathe, to
Yes.
reveal.
Life. Yes. And listen, let me help y'all to understand something for those who are here. If you guys don't know what etymology is, both me and Miss Kim, we are very particular with going back to etymology, which is the oldest meaning of a word before it was ever translated and retranslated and retranslated. We like to go to the original meaning because the original meaning helps you to understand where things actually come from and what they actually meant before they decided to say it's something else. Just in case
Hmm.
you guys didn't know what that meant.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, and matter of fact, I'll tell you how to spell etymology, so that y'all can go look it up yourselves, because this will give
Mm.
you knowledge as if you are a scholar. This will help you to understand different words in different contexts. So etymology is spelled Etymology. Go
I
look
was all
in,
wrong.
huh?
I was so wrong spelling that word. But you gave me the correct spelling, but mine looked nothing like that.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, and
thank
I
you.
want y'all to go look that up yourself because then you'll understand what etymology means, and you can even use a etymology dictionary and just go look up demon, Satan. Go look up those words. The etymologies of those words will have you like, wait a dang on minute, because demon does not mean what Christianity says it is. Demon actually means divine source in the etymology of the word, but I ain't gonna hurt y'all too much today. I ain't gonna hurt y'all.
Go
I ain't gonna
on,
hurt y'all.
speak it to me now. Go on, speak it to me. You and Miss
So
Kim
to
got
break
me
it down
going
to
now.
the lowest denominator, sir, is that the plugmancy. I don't have my readers on, so I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing it the wrong way. But to break it down, like very simple, um, when you pray to your God, I don't know if you're Christian.
No, I am not Christian. I am ex-Christian.
Do you feel like, and I'll just ask the
Oh
question,
wait,
do you
hold
feel
on.
like you
So I
need a
couldn't hear
mediator
you
in
for a
order to
second.
connect with your higher source?
Go ahead and speak again. I
Do I
couldn't
need
hear
a
you for a second.
mediator?
Oh, okay. So I'm going to ask a question. Do you feel like when you're in your home and it's just you and your higher source, do you feel like you need someone outside of yourself to connect with your higher source?
Actually, no. So me and Miss Kim, we kind of talked about this. And so hold on one second, guys.
No, no, I know how you feel. You and I are on the same page. I was asking the gentleman.
Yeah, yeah. We should ask him that. I'm gonna let him. Yeah, I'm gonna let him answer.
So, I'm a Muslim, and we in Islam, whenever we pray, there is no meditator or intercessor between like me and God when it comes to praying, because we believe that we pray directly to God without the need of any intermediary. So, whether it being a human being or an angel, by the way, like in Islam, we believe that everyone prays, jinns, angels, everybody. So, we believe that God is accessible to anyone, regardless, without a mediator or with one.
Scoot up.
So
Okay.
why do you practice your religion?
Why do I practice my religion?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. If
Because I see the truth in it.
Okay. Now let me ask you a question. Do you if you see the truth in what you believe, and most of us see the truth in what we believe, then would anyone be wrong?
Would anyone be wrong? Well, it depends on that person, right? Because as Muslims, we believe that God sent us prophets to guide us, and it's your way of deciding. We don't believe, like, especially as a Muslim, we don't believe in a certain people going to hell or heaven. We believe that if you follow God and your deeds are good and you submit your will to Him, you have a good chance of entering paradise.
So y'all don't believe in a heaven or hell, you believe in paradise.
No, no, we believe in heaven or hell, of course, but what I'm saying is, with Muslims, we can't say this specific group of people is going to hell, or this specific group of people is going to heaven, because at the end of the day, it's not our point to judge. It's between you and your God. So if you've lived a righteous life and like if you've lived a righteous life and you've done your deeds and submitted your will to the Almighty God, you'll inshallah you'll go to heaven or paradise.
Okay.
Yeah.
Uh,
I have a question if you don't mind.
go ahead.
So you said you believe that God sent your prophets, and so can you explain? It's pretty much a two-part question. So what do you believe, or who do you believe prophets are?
Who do I believe? The Islamic prophets?
Not naming them, but like, what do you believe a prophet is? Who is a prophet? Like, what do they do? Like, who is a prophet to you?
So so a prophet. So here's what. So in Islam, for example, is a prophet to us is someone who is sent by Allah or God, and he's basically sent down to guide humanity and convey his message to them. So we believe that Allah sent prophets to every nation throughout history in order to guide them to the truth and help them avoid the pitfall of ignorance and sins. like these prophets include Adam, Noah, Ibrahim, Moses, Jesus, and Muhammad, among others, like a lot of others. So their primary role was just to convey the message of monotheism and to invite people to worship the one God alone without associating any partners with him. Like how they taught them to live their lives according to Allah's command and helped establish justice, compassion, and mercy in the society, basically.
Sounds like
And are there
Christianity without
prophets
the
in the
judgment.
Bible? Right. Are there prophets that are in the Bible that are just not named? Are there prophets outside of the people that you name?
Yes. There's among others.
So do you
And
know
you know
what
what?
spiritual? Do you know what most spiritualists are?
Spiritualists?
Yeah, people that are spiritualists. That's in the spiritual community. That's not in the church. Do you know who they are?
Not really.
They're seers. And you know what
Mm,
prophets are?
Seers.
They're
Yep.
seers. So what's the difference between someone who practices spirituality and someone who's a prophet?
good
That one
question.
was sent to God.
Wait, wait, wait,
One
wait,
was
wait,
And
wait,
sent
wait,
seers
from
wait,
God.
weren't.
wait, wait.
Wait. Seers weren't sent by God?
Were they sent specifically in the context of guiding a specific amount of people, to guide them to the truth and to guide them to do tawheed? Tawheed is oneness. So you know what oneness means?
I exactly know what it is.
So
You're talking to
hold on,
someone
Miss
who
Kim.
has a
Hold on, Miss Kim.
doctorate in divinity.
Hold on, Miss Kim.
Too.
Let me
Okay,
jump in
so
here. Let me jump in here. Hold on. I'm a seer. I'm sent by God. I preach about
And I'm a
oneness all the
seer.
time. I preach about being collectively different and understanding and respecting each other's belief systems. Everything that you're saying, your prophets do. How would you automatically assume because we are not a part of that faith that we're not sent by God? That's my question.
it's not what I'm saying. Did God talk to you and tell you you're gonna go down there and you're gonna guide these people?
Mm. Can I say this,
Go
if
ahead.
I may, humbly? I'm just going to say this, not to attack your religion. I have family members that are of the Islam faith. Okay, and I'll just say that. But
Oh, I don't attack religions over here. Go ahead.
right. She doesn't do that here. Every time I come here, it's not about attacking religions. And she welcomes questions, which I appreciate that as well, because it allows you to grow. And I will say this, I've always been a spiritual person, but the level at which I'm practicing my spirituality, I'm pretty much a novice. I was a Christian, or I belonged to a sect of Christianity for most of my entire life. But a lot of people, and I'm sure you've heard of this term, especially during the pandemic, experience what they're terming, or they've termed, the Great Awakening. And it doesn't it and this happened on a global level. Okay, this type of thing has been happening for years, but it was people became more aware of it, particularly during the pandemic. And people of all faiths were starting to realize that they were pretty much under cognitive dissonance, and they weren't questioning their faith, right? And so, to what the beautiful queens were saying today, right? I could be um, a prophet, because prophets don't come in the same package. It may not be what you think it is. I could be a seer. I could be the conduit of truth for you speaking today. There could be a reason why you're here today. And that's what spiritualists believe in. We believe that everything is energy, and energy is everything. And spirit works, in not mysterious ways. I don't
Many different
agree
ways
with
is
that,
what I believe.
but in many different ways. So I could speak something that Allah, or God, according to your faith, might want you to hear. There's a reason why you're here. Okay, so I could say something very simple, or someone here could say something very simple that will resonate with you, that perhaps you may not admit it here in this live or in this forum, but you might think about it and go back later, during your quiet time, and think about that whatever that was said, and it may change your whole paradigm, right? It may change your whole view on things. Okay, so, like, will you be even open to that? Nobody's like trying to change your religion or anything like that, but it's happening to so many people that is worth looking at, right? And you can't necessarily say that people that are not part of a religion aren't of God. That's not true, because I very much believe in God, but I no longer adhere or subject myself to any organized religion, because I realize I could create my own system, my own construct, and live by it, and God would be just fine with that. So would you be even open to that?
I mean, so I don't think like okay, have you ever actually, okay, I don't want to say, this might sound a bit disrespectful, but would it be haram to be on TikTok? No, not really. So here's the thing: in Islamic belief, we actually love we our prophets encouraged us in the pursuit of knowledge and learning, because it's and learning is like highly valuable, and we're encouraged to seek knowledge and understanding of in all areas of life to increase this. Like this includes the study of other religions and belief systems, because
Okay, got you.
but we are, yeah.
At least
So
y'all
however though,
encourage that. Christianity does not encourage that.
yeah, so it is important, are encouraged to learn about other religions. We're also taught to approach the study with respect and humility, to avoid engaging in behavior that could be considered disrespectful or offensive to followers or of other religions.
Okay.
So, so yeah, while the study of other religion is allowed in Islam, we're taught that the Quran is the final and complete revelation of God, and that the Islam is the true complete way of life, and therefore, like when Muslims study about other religions for academic or comparative reasons, we still for ourselves we expect to commit to our own faith, and we avoid engaging in behavior that could be considered contradictory to Islamic teaching.
Okay, got you. So let me ask a question here then. Because so in a religion, every religion itself believes that they are the one true. Christianity does that, you guys do that. There are a few other religions that also do that. So with the fact that you at least engage for perspective purposes or learning or whatever, that's beautiful, because at least you guys are still somewhat being open. In spirituality, what the majority of us believe is that every religion and spirituality, and I'm saying majority because some people believe different, but the majority of us believe that every religion and spirituality is all sides of the same coin, and all connected to the divine, to God, to one whole. And it's
Right.
all taught differently in different ways. So,
Hmm.
what I believe is that there is a bit of truth in all of them. And because there is a bit of truth in all of them, I feel like collectively we should all be able to respect each other's belief systems, without mistreating each other, or harming each other, or forcing each other in the way to where we are. Spirituality is the only way, Starseed is the only way, Islam is the only way, Christian is the only way, Judaism is the only way, and they just continue to name it all over, and then we don't respect each other. And so for me, I feel like we should get to a point in this world where we can actually really respect each other's belief systems, and understand that even those who don't necessarily believe in God, they have a right to their belief system as well.
So yeah,
What did
this is what I was saying. We're encouraged to. We're not allowed in Islam. We're not allowed to engage in behavior that could be considered disrespectful or offensive to followers of other religions.
Okay, that's a good
Okay.
thing.
Well,
Yeah,
that's your
So
and
can
division. That's your sector of Islam, because that's actually not true for all
Yeah, I've
sectors.
met
Because
some
my
other
brother
ones that was a
also,
little worse.
my brother
okay,
too. Wait, let me finish for a second. My
Go
brother
ahead.
too is Muslim, and he does not. They do not believe that whatsoever. They believe that their way is the only way. They will talk down on you if you're a Christian. They will talk down if you're Jehovah Witness and all of that. And I had to even tell my brother one day, who was raised a Christian as a child, for you to be so aggressive in your faith, do you understand you're the youngest faith ever create a religion ever to be created? You are a direct copy of all others that came before you. And I was like, there's no way that the child could be more right than the parents when you were the one that came last. So
Ooh,
I love the fact that yours. I love the fact like your denomination of, and I'm probably using the wrong word, but you know what I mean. You're part of the Muslim faith. I love the fact that y'all promote what y'all promote because a
because
lot of
they
them don't.
sure
But I
don't.
think you said, did you say you were Spanish? Did you say that?
No, I am Arab.
Okay,
Oh,
gotcha.
well, that may make a difference. That may make a big difference because
But I just
here, are
have
you
to.
here in the States? Are you here in the States?
Am I? No, I don't. I live in Dubai.
See, that may be
Okay,
why,
well, thank
because
you for joining.
here
I love how these
yeah,
conversations get people all over the world.
Okay.
all over the world. Yeah, yeah. I think you need to be coming here and teaching some
Yeah,
people
because out in
here
the US, they
because
are
they don't
not
act
like
like
that.
that here.
They are
They're
not
not
like that
like
in the
that.
Well,
US.
Yeah, I just have to tell you one thing though about Islam. While Islam teaches the unity of Muslim community as a community, highly discourage divisions and sects among believers. We completely discourage it. It's not. We basically don't allow sects in Islam because we follow, as I said, our Prophet Muhammad, and
You wait, you don't allow what in Islam?
But there are
so we
different
don't we
sects.
No, no.
yeah,
There
They,
are
there are
different
different
sects.
sects, but we
yeah,
highly discourage
spell
divisions
it
among
out.
the
Don't say it
believers.
out loud. Don't say it out loud, sir, because if you say it out loud, you can get snipped from TikTok. So just spell it out.
Oh,
No, he's
so
talking
we
about
don't.
Oh,
SECTS.
sectors, sectors.
Yeah.
Okay, say
What?
sectors
Yeah,
because it
yeah.
sounds too close to the other word. You
Yeah,
don't
Oh,
want to
because
get
got you.
sniped. Yeah,
so
so just
y'all
say
don't
sector
allow
then.
division in different sectors.
No, we highly discourage it. We try to follow one ummah, which
Interesting.
is what we
Interesting.
follow is so as you know, there's the main sector, which is the Sunni, which it comes out of the followers of the Sunnah after our Prophet, which is the biggest one, which was most Muslims believe it's the true one because we're following exactly what the Quran and the Hadith say. The Quran is our book, by the way, and
Okay.
what the Hadiths are, which are Hadiths are basically are sayings like from people that are not in the Quran. So it's a different approach. So it's from people. So we highly discourage sects and we highly discourage divisions uh, and
Right. Like
uncommunication.
I
But
was I was a Jehovah's Witness for like many, many years. Most of my adult life, I was a Jehovah's Witness. And like Muslim, like they did not allow for interfaith or anything like that. There were no like different sect or different sectors in the religion. It was what it was, and they taught like like it was a very strong dogma that that was the truth and the only truth, and there was nothing outside of that organization that was of the truth, right? So I get what you're saying. My question is, and I'm not trying to gaslight you, I truly want to understand this, right? So when you come to these type of forums, like when you come in here, what is your aim? What is your purpose? If you know that the Quran is the your holy book and the only acceptable word, and you know that your religion is the only acceptable religion to Allah or God, then what is your purpose for coming into lives like this?
okay, so I'll say like as I was saying earlier, I love learning new things, and I love basically going after the pursuit of knowledge and understanding
Okay.
about other people's faiths and how
Hmm.
they follow. But
So
the
you
main
so you're not
reason,
having
okay,
any doubts? Oh, I'm sorry, I cut you off. I'm sorry,
yeah,
baby.
it's fine. So no, so it's not about we believe that you have to follow Prophet Muhammad and all this to be a good person. Because again, we do believe in Jesus, we believe in Moses, we believe in all these people. We just believe that they were messengers, and when they came down, their message was changed or corrupted like that. That's why we follow Prophet Muhammad, because we believe he's the final prophet. But other than that, why I go to these forums and stuff, I just like to learn about what other people believe in and why they believe in it.
Oh,
That's
okay, gotcha.
beautiful. Thank
And
you.
that's
Okay.
exactly what I actually got from you as well. I think it is beautiful as well. I literally
That's
that's
awesome.
I didn't think it was no malicious intent. That's exactly what I got. And because my brother, they do
Yeah,
believe Jesus existed. They believe Moses, and they just believe that they were mere prophets. They don't believe Jesus is the Messiah. They just believed he was a prophet
No,
that
Jesus is the
walked.
Messiah.
Well, see, my brother and them don't believe Jesus is the
Yeah,
Messiah
that's what I'm
as a
telling you. It's
Muslim.
different from where you are, sir,
It
in
is different
Dubai.
sexton.
In the
Yeah, it's
US,
definitely
they are
different
a little
sects.
different.
Yes.
Sectors, yeah, because
So
they didn't believe that. They just believed they believed he was a prophet. They believed he had the ability to perform miracles. Well, no, let me back it up. No, they did not. Because in his Quran, all the miracles that are in the New Testament have been removed. So y'all don't have the same Quran, because there are no miracles in the New Testament. They only
Listen, I'm
believe that
learning something
Jesus
every
had
day.
the ability. Jesus only had the ability to prophesy as well as the other prophets. They did not believe in miracles. And they also did not believe Jesus was born of a virgin. So there are definitely different sectors in the Islamic faith then, because he does not believe exactly what you believe. I actually have the same, well, I used to own the same Quran he owned, because I am a person who have studied different beliefs also, while being a Christian for 40, almost 40 years. So I did practice I did not practice, excuse me, I've studied others, because I also wanted to know why, people believe what they believe, and to see what was
Hmm.
added and taken away out of other faiths as well. But in that Quran that's here in the United States, that's in Wilmington, Delaware, in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, no, they do not believe that. They don't believe in miracles. No, there's no miracles in their Bible, just like there's no miracles in the Mormon Bible that I've read.
Well, they kind
okay.
of believe in miracles because they believe that Muhammad, got the word
He
by
was the
by.
only one. That's what I'm saying. He was the
All
only
right.
one that they believed that could perform
No, no, no.
miracles.
So
Oh,
all
okay.
right, sorry to cut you off, but okay, so here's the thing. If you like go right now and go to like websites like Quran.com or Quran learn Quran, Muslim Pro, all of that, every Quran would be the same. So I don't know if you have a different interpretation. So what we believe in, we believe that the Quran came down to Muhammad and then was never changed by over the 1400 years. So we do
I
believe that
promise you,
Jesus.
baby, there is more than one Quran. There are
No,
Yeah,
no
and it's been
miracles
changed.
in the Quran. It's been
It's
changed.
been
I
changed.
had the Quran, and it did
Yeah, I
not
do
have any
too.
miracles in it. No, only person that had the capability of doing miracles was Muhammad, and Muhammad only. And everybody else were prophets. They had the ability
At
to
least in that one,
prophesy,
she's
but they could.
basically not saying you're wrong,
Right.
sir. She's saying in the one
I'm
that
not
she
saying you're
read.
right. The one
Right,
that I
right.
used to
Okay.
own and the one that my brother practiced did not have miracles in it at all, other than stating that Muhammad performed miracles.
Right.
Okay.
And like
So
like Jehovah's Witnesses, Muslim, and you can correct me on this, most Muslim that I know, including my cousin, um, don't believe they believe that Jesus was a prophet, but they don't believe that Jesus was God. They believe, and I don't even know if they believe that he was the son of God. They just believe
Yeah,
that
they
he was
do.
a prophet.
They do. Jehovah Witnesses, because I had a background with them. I was raised
No,
in
no,
the
no.
congregation.
Jehovah's Witnesses believe that, but not Muslim. Muslim don't believe that Jesus was the son of God. They believe he was just a
Not
prophet
the
like
ones I
Muhammad.
ever
Right.
ran across.
Oh.
so yeah, as I was saying earlier, we other than the Quran, we actually follow something called hadiths, which are the
Hmm.
words of Prophet Muhammad's disciples and people who are around him. So some of those hadiths do talk about the miracles of Jesus, but we don't believe that Jesus had the powers in himself. We believe that by the will of God, he was able to perform these miracles. We don't believe that Jesus died, like we don't believe that Jesus' crucifixion. We believe that he was sent up to heaven and we are waiting for his second coming.
Wow, I didn't know
That
that.
are
Oh, well,
Okay.
now
final.
that's
Uh-huh.
completely different as well, because in the Quran that I had, he did not resurrect at all. The only person that they believed in the Quran that I had, and the one of my brothers, the sector that he studies, that Jesus died and he stayed dead. Excuse me, unalive. Sorry, we got to stop saying that word, unalive. The only person that they believe in still praying to is Muhammad, and Muhammad only. So that's different as well.
So
Can you
this
put
is why
the
we
those
have these
sayings? Can you put
lives.
those sayings in the comments, please? The ones where you said the sayings tell you the different things. Can you type that in the chat, please?
Yeah, I'd have to find them, but because other than the Quran
Not the
is
all
merely
chat, not the chats, like where we can find those, like not the actual sayings itself, but where we can find the sayings. Can you put that in the chat, please?
So yeah, here I can send you a website which I personally use. So there is this
Mhm.
app if you're on if you're
This
on
is
your
why we
phone and
have
if
these
you're
lives,
using a
guys,
website.
to educate, right? Because
Yes, I'm
we
learning a
all
lot.
can learn from each
Okay.
other. This is
So
why
Hmm.
yeah, the
I don't
first one is an
believe there
application.
is one
Yeah, the
above
first one
the
is an
other.
application. Yeah, so I'm not sure which division your brother or your cousin follows, but 95% of the Muslims we follow one Quran and one Quran only, and it does not have everything in it. Like again, we follow hadiths as well, these sayings and other stuff like that. But Quran is our main message, the main message from God. We believe that this Quran was the message of God. It wasn't a message of humans. We don't believe that anything in the Quran could be contradicted because it's a message of God.
But isn't it true that the Quran was never translated into like any other language other than Arabic? But
So the
it's definitely been translated into English because I have a Quran and it's written in English.
yeah. So people have made English translations, but again, a lot of the English translation you'll find are different because Arabic is very
Distinctive.
advanced, I could say. Yeah. So you'll not find the exact same uh, two English books because everyone has their own translation to it. But again, if you read it in Arabic, like a lot of the Muslims now, the ones who don't even speak Arabic, like I'll ask you something. How much Muslims do you think know the whole 114 chapters of the Quran?
I don't know
I'll be
nobody.
honest, I don't know. I couldn't even
Like
give you an educated guess.
take a wild guess. Take a wild guess.
I say like uh, a
A
hundred.
quarter of them.
So around actually this is around 340 Muslims, 340 million Muslims know the whole Quran, and 200 million of those Muslims don't even speak Arabic,
Mm.
but they memorize the whole Quran. So we actually encourage a lot of Muslims to at least try to learn Arabic from the Quran itself and not
Nice.
rely on English translations because it could lead you another way than what our prophets followed.
Yeah, and I have two brothers to be exact that are actually Muslim, and they both actually
Baby.
speak it. They speak the language very well, and that
Mm.
their Qurans are not in English. My Quran is in English. He brought me his Quran, but in the English translation. My brother's Quran is not in. Neither one of my brother's Qurans are in the English translation.
Are your brothers married, Kim?
Both of my
Is this
brothers are
Kim?
married. Yes, yes. Hmm.
So
Yeah.
the are their wives Muslim?
No, one is,
Oh,
one is not.
okay. Because I was going to
Yeah.
ask, can they speak it? And are women allowed to read the Quran out loud?
You
Women,
know what? I don't really know that. I can't answer. I'm not quite sure. I have heard that back in the day that women weren't allowed to speak it out loud.
so
Um, yes, but I can't. Yeah, he can be better answer that for me. For
so
us.
so in Islam we don't so we have what are called imams. So what you guys maybe like for example a
Like
priest,
an
what we have is
elder?
an imam. Yeah, so
Hmm.
someone who would lead the prayer, a sheikh, for example. But we
Hmm.
don't have we don't have women imams. We don't have that. But of course, like it is allowed for any Muslim woman to recite the Quran out loud. But it's
Oh,
better
okay.
for her to recite it quietly in her prayer or outside of prayer if it may bother other people. But of course, it is allowed for her to recite Quran with a loud voice. That's completely fine.
Oh, okay. That's
But she
okay.
can't
That's
she can't do
interesting
it
then.
outside of the home though, right?
Outside of the no, of course she can.
Oh, she can't. Okay. All right.
Yeah, we like a lot of you'll find a lot of the media actually takes a wrong approach to Islam, especially towards the women's side. But if you do a lot of digging in it, uh,
Okay.
Islam actually we have a very so the media makes it seem like the women are limited in Islam, but we actually consider them a 50-50 equal. So we consider them in terms of humanity and spiritual worth. They are both held accountable for their actions. However, like Islam does not recognize any physiological or psychological differences between men and women. So like in terms of limitations, there are certain rules and guidelines that are may be specific to women, but as well there are certain rules and guidelines for men. But if it's like if you see these medias, they'll like that, like the hijab. Sorry, my English might sound very bad. So
No, you
in
sound
terms of,
perfectly
yeah,
fine.
so these rules are
Tap
intended to
the screen,
mainly
guys.
protect. Yeah, so these rules are mainly intended to protect and honor women, who are not intended to restrict or limit them in any way. But like, you have to important that cultural practice and traditions may vary across like Muslim countries, and some practices may not align with Islamic teachings. That's why when you see the media and all of that, they might be going to the wrong culture, and then they're putting it on majority of Islam that, oh, this is a rule for all Muslims and all that. But it's very wrong when they do say that.
So the women in your country that are Muslim, say your wife, if she were to like take care of the family using herbs, that would be acceptable?
Using what?
Herbs. I know
Plants.
this may sound like a crazy question, but I'm going somewhere with it. Like she uses herbs to nurture and to nurse her family.
Herbs is medicine,
Uh,
pretty much.
oh, of
Yeah,
course, we
natural
believe in a lot of,
medicine.
yeah, we believe in natural medicine.
Hmm. In some cases, is that woman known in the community as one who uses herbs?
Well, not really, no.
I
I don't
thought
know
we were
how
like,
exactly.
I don't know, y'all. I thought we was like not trying to put what we believe in on other people or trying to make their other people
We not.
in a way
She
feel like their beliefs are different.
I was
Cause
gonna
this,
say we
Oh,
I'm
not.
not gonna
We
cap y'all.
so
It feel
we're
like
trying
this
to
what it
figure
been this
out what
whole
he's
time.
we're trying to figure
I
out
don't know.
how they
I just
believe
came
because
in, so
he's
I
in
maybe have
Dubai.
missed something.
he
I
came in
may
here
have
asking
missed something.
questions, and we're asking
No,
questions.
we're
I'm not
asking
trying to
questions because
attack
he's out
anybody.
of the
Yeah,
US.
that's fine.
So
You can.
hold on,
Hold on,
Yeah,
everybody.
hold
I
on.
don't know.
Hold,
Maybe I'm.
everyone, hold on.
Everyone hold on.
Everyone, please hold on and
So
let
he
God
is in
speak.
Dubai. He's in
Mhm.
Dubai. So we are trying to understand the differences because Islam out here in the US, from what most of us have heard about, have always did things a particular way. I have never heard anybody in Islam look at their women as equal from what I've
Me
experienced
either.
in the US.
Yeah, me
So
either.
hearing him
Right.
in Dubai, we're kind of trying to understand like their perspective, which is why some of us are asking him questions. I don't want anyone to get mistaken that anyone's trying to push anyone on anything on anyone
Okay, I
because
just want to make
we're
sure
not doing that.
get double check and make sure you know you don't believe in what you believe in. I was trying to make sure.
What are you saying about like selling herbal medicine or just for your family?
Mm,
Like for the family, I
Yeah,
guess.
either way. Either
That's
way.
completely fine. It's actually
That's
encouraged for
completely
us.
fine.
It's encouraged for us to use herbs uh, and complementary therapies for our families.
hmm.
Okay, awesome. So for educational purposes, some people who practice a certain form of spirituality, they use herbs, they use it for several different reasons. It's a modality, right? And it's a practice for them, right? How, and this is just for my knowledge. I'm really appreciating this conversation, and I'm not trying to hog the conversation. In fact, this will be my last question because I actually came in here to say something, but it was covered, so I didn't need to ask. But um or to elaborate on a certain comment.
Okay.
But yeah, I just find this really fascinating because yeah, I appreciate your openness because most, like the goddesses said, most Muslim that we come in contact with are very staunch, convicted uh um uh practices
Conservative.
of Islam, right? And they don't bend whatsoever. They're not open to this type of conversation. In fact, they'll judge you. You know what I'm saying? If you even try to pull them into into this type of conversation, they just cut it off. Like, no. And so, maybe some of the more modern, younger Muslim are, a little bit more open to conversation, but the old schoolers are not, from my experience, right? Um,
No, so
so
yeah, you're gonna have a lot of enraged Muslims nowadays because again, a lot of people are not knowledgeable about. Okay, so we have what's called a knowledgeable human about Islam. So it's a person that actually studies Islam. So a lot of the people now, they're actually just following the Quran and all of that, but they're not knowledgeable about the general facts about Islam and what they can
mhm.
do and what they not do. So if you are speaking to somebody who's going to start raging on you, I would suggest just ending the conversation right there and find somebody knowledgeable about the general understanding of Islam to ask. Just don't talk to anyone who is going to start screaming and putting their religion upon you, because we do not allow that whatsoever in Islam. We don't allow forcing someone into this religion. We believe that it's by their will and their faith that they can submit their will to God. So if you do, just close that down. Don't talk to them and just move on with your day.
Appreciate it. And
And
what does one last question? What does Islam mean? And then I'm dropping down, host.
So
Okay.
so Islam means consciously submitting your will to the God. So we believe that everyone's already submitted their will to God, because we believe that everything you do is by God's will. Everything that you've done in your life, you've been born by God's will. So in Islam, this is consciously submitting your will to God, following His words and His Prophet's words. So just the general meaning of the actual word in Islam in Arabic, it means submission.
Thank you. That's
You're
That's
deep, right?
amazing.
Thank you so
I
much.
have a question though. So you said you guys don't believe, meaning your faith, your religion doesn't believe in forcing the religion on other people. So why is it though when we come to your country, because you said you're in Dubai, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Why is it that if I come to your country and I say I am Christian and I'm not a Muslim, I'm forced to wear a hijab and cover up?
No, so yeah, this is what I was saying earlier about traditional rules and conservative rules. So that's the difference. So in women, you have to understand that there are cultural countries that follow their own belief, and then you have like actual Islamic law. So Muslim majority countries can have different practices from the others that might not align with the teachings of Islam itself. But here in Dubai, no, absolutely not. You don't have to wear a hijab if you don't want to
That's
here in
not
Dubai,
true.
especially.
It's not
No, no,
true.
no,
My daughter
no,
just went.
seriously.
That's why no, it's not true. And this is why I'm to ask this question. My daughter just went last year and she
To
was
Dubai?
forced to wear, yes, she did. She went there on
I know
vacation
a few
and she
people who
was
went there
forced
too,
to
and
cover
they
up.
definitely was forced to cover.
Exactly. That's why I waited to ask this question. I waited until everybody was done so I can ask this question on purpose because her and her best friend and their companions went to Dubai just last year, which I do love the fact that y'all never had that C-19 issue going on. I do love that as well. Not last year, sorry, year before last, when everybody was locked down. Y'all was over there having an amazing time. But yeah, it was 2021, I should say. And they were forced to wear hijabs. They told them we are Christians, we're not Muslims, that we don't want to be forced to wear something that goes against our beliefs. They were still forced. They couldn't go nowhere without wearing hijabs, and they were upset. The
You
interesting
know
thing
what,
is, I was
Kim,
supposed to
I
go
think it
4 months
depends on the
later.
area because I also
So
know someone who frequently travels to Dubai, and the only time he has to wear it is if he goes into or near the temple. And
yeah,
No, they had to wear on every excursion. They had to wear it in restaurants, and I'm talking about my daughters.
that's interesting.
Restaurants, they had to wear it. They had to wear it everywhere. I was supposed to go. My husband and I was supposed to go 4 months later. We canceled our trip for that very reason because I refused to allow someone. Because I believe in respecting countries and cultures. Don't get me wrong, but at the same time, we as Americans don't tell people, oh, because if you're Christian, you're not Christian, you got to walk around with a Bible. So I have a problem with other countries telling us that we have to do something. Now in Maldives, who also is an Islam country, or Maldives, excuse me, they don't make you do that. Now, and it may be a cultural thing. Now, the only thing they ask is that we as American men and women, we can't walk around the streets like half nude like we can here in the States, but we didn't have to garb up in Maldives. But
wait, I have a
that in
question.
Dubai, they definitely did make them wear them hijabs, and they still got them because they had to pay for them.
Ma'am, I'm a police officer here in Dubai. Okay, so in Dubai, there are dress codes that must be followed in public places, and women are expected to dress modestly and cover, like, okay, if you go to Dubai Mall, which is the biggest mall, Dubai is a very family-friendly, Islam-friendly, modest place. So the basic rules are cover basically maybe just maximum above your knees and you like a bit below your shoulders. Like Dubai is nowhere where my mom does not wear hijab. So I've lived, this is my whole life. I've been here for 23 years in Dubai. I'm a police officer here. There's nowhere in the dress codes that say you have to wear hijab. The only place that you have to wear hijab in, which is probably the mosques or all of that, but
Well, they didn't
nowhere
even go
you
to the
actually.
mosque, but
I
they were forced to
wonder
wear
who
them.
made them do that then. That had to be someone who was just being special
Yeah,
because
that
they were from the US.
I don't know, but they
yeah
weren't, like I said, they never went to the mosque because they didn't have a reason to. Like they said, why would
no
we go? We don't have a reason to. But they were forced to wear them. They actually still have them. They brought them back because they had to pay for them. And they had to get them, so, like, I mean, not when as soon as they got there, but they had to get them almost immediately. Actually, the videos on Facebook where they talk about where they were forced to wear them because they were told this is a Muslim country. Doesn't matter what your faith is. When you come up in this country, you have to wear these. So when they did all their excursions, when they went into the restaurants, they had to wear these hijabs.
Well, I'm thinking that maybe
ma'am.
whoever told them that maybe saw the content of maybe whatever clothes they were wearing. But from what I understand, they don't really make everyone do that unless they're going to the temple. I think they ran across somebody who was being extra with them.
Yeah, so
I
again,
don't know. I can't say. I just know that it did happen to them.
Yeah.
For one, they actually neither one of them dressed provocative. That's the one thing I love about my daughters. If you go on social media, you will see none of them dressed provocative because that's not how they was raised. But like I said, when I went to Maldives, I didn't have to do that. That's why I was really surprised that Dubai did that, and they were told that was their culture, and that's how
Yeah,
alright,
that's what
so
I'm saying,
I got a
Afro
call. That
Priestess.
was yeah.
Somebody was on some
They was
BS.
told it was because of their culture
I know a
that
few people
no
who
they
have been
did
to
mention
Dubai.
because they did mention about not being able to have anything above the knees, so that's why they wore maxi dresses. You know, maxi dresses come to your ankles. My daughter has big breasts. She's never been comfortable with her breasts being out, so she's always worn her breasts covered up. And she doesn't like her arms, so she's always wore her arms covered up. Like my daughter does not dress the normal way in the summer when everybody else is being open. She's kind of closed off because she's always been body conscious. So I already know for a fact how they was. Well, I've seen the pictures too, but they were most definitely told that they had to cover up.
by who though?
I gotta run. My husband's calling back.
Okay.
All right, all right. So okay, so again, in Dubai, we have a very modest place. I've been a police officer for 3 years now. It's never in a rule book to imply the hijab on someone. My mother does not wear the hijab. My sister does not wear the hijab. My wife does not wear the hijab sometimes. So it's very I'm not sure who told you or who told your daughters to wear them, but they were definitely not an official.
Interesting.
Because again, if you go to the beaches here in Dubai as well, you will see women wearing bikinis and all of that, and we don't tell them anything because it's a beach, it's a public place, and
Wait a minute. So
uh,
at the beach they can wear their bikini? See, I heard so much difference about Dubai. I love to hear this.
yeah, so
Wow.
you can wear a bikini in Dubai beaches, yeah, it's fine, but you have to first find out if it's because okay, yeah, like swimsuits and bikinis you cannot wear outside of like the beaches and all of that, but uh, you could if you go to a designated beach or a swimming pool or those
Right.
types of stuff they are allowed. Yeah, so again, you can't just wear bikinis everywhere to in Dubai because we
Ma-
have like
married women, married women can wear bikinis outside.
so so again, it depends on their husband. I don't know in Christian belief, but it depends on their husband. If you go to a designated place that you could wear a bikini in, you're completely fine. No one is even going to talk to you about it. I've been to a lot of those designated places about like families calling and stuff. We never exclude them. We never tell them to wear what they don't want to wear. But obviously, outside of the beach and family areas and those types of areas, we always have to keep a modest look to Dubai.
Okay. Thank you. Now I don't feel, and from what I did understand, on the streets of Dubai, you guys don't allow curse words. Is this true?
So here's the thing. Yeah, we don't allow curse words. We don't allow. There's not much freedom of speech as there is in the States. You can't just start cursing because again, Dubai is a very family-friendly area.
Okay.
That's why you're gonna see a lot of foreigners actually when they like last year, for example, 10% of the foreigners who came here to travel actually stayed and applied for a visa, especially the ones having a family and all that, because Dubai is a very family-safe space. We try to keep everything safe. So, like this is one thing in Dubai that not much countries have is the rate of crime here. If you round we in Dubai we base the rate of crimes to the nearest 1% by every 100,000 people. If you round it up to the nearest number, it's going to be 0% crime rate.
So I know I said I wasn't going to ask any more questions, but this is so good. I love it. Okay, so this is a spiritual channel, right? And collective. She offers a number of modalities, right? Beautiful person, right? So I have a question regarding tarot. From what I understand, that tarot had its beginning in Kemet in Egypt, right?
Wait, sorry, tarot?
Tarot, yes, tarot.
Can you spell
You
that
know what
word for
that
me?
is?
TAROT.
Tarot cards.
Yes.
Oh,
So
we don't. Yeah, no.
so,
You
but
could buy them here.
it had its origin. You know, it started out in Kemet, though, right? Right. So anyway, so you come to a page like this, a spiritual channel, which that's what she does. One of the things that she does is tarot cards. So, and from my understanding, and I'm starting to learn a lot more about tarot, I had a totally different understanding of what tarot was. I have a different understanding now that tarot is actually just a tool to use to help a person get to know themselves better, right? That's one use for tarot, is to get you closer to your intuition, to your higher self, and to God. It's just a tool. It's just a modality. It's not necessarily not necessarily a religious practice, right?
Right.
So with that being in mind, with that being said, because it's being used to help that person get closer to God, get closer to themselves, get to know themselves, how do Muslim feel about that?
Okay, so tarot cards, of course, like other stuff, are associated with the vision, which is the practice of seeking knowledge or insight through supernatural means, right? So in Islam, seeking knowledge or guidance through supernatural means, such as the divination, or is generally considered to be shirk, which is basically the sin of associating partners with Allah. So Islam teaches that Allah alone, or God alone, has the knowledge of the unseen, and that seeking guidance or knowledge from supernatural sources other than Allah is a form of shirk, which is basically like believing something. Shirk in English. Let me just. Okay, so it's basically means like. It's basically meaning associating something with God, and we
So how do you
believe that
think?
is.
So how do you think
Sorry.
Muhammad? How do you think Muhammad got? Don't you think that Muhammad got the Quran in a supernatural way from Allah?
So okay, so here's the thing. You know how Muhammad got the Quran?
No.
So he got it from the angel Gabriel, or Gabriel, you would say.
Wouldn't that be
And
supernatural?
yeah, but here's the thing. This is not. We're not associating. Okay, so here's the thing. We believe that God sent Gabriel or Jibril to Muhammad to show him the first revelation of the Quran. So it was revealed over a period of 23 years,
Take a
and the
break.
revelations were.
Well,
Yeah. So here's the thing. Why we believe again in the Quran so much, and we don't believe it's the word of Muhammad, because Muhammad couldn't read or write. He was unable to read or write. So this is why we believe the word is not by Muhammad. It's a very distinctive. Everyone who's talked to him, his mothers, his family, everyone knows that Muhammad cannot read or write. So we believe that this Quran was sent to Gabriel, and Gabriel told him to read read the first revelation and to read it out to your people.
Okay.
So this is a main
So let me ask you
pillar
a
of
question
Islam.
here, because I think I know what she was trying to get at. So if like here, the way that I teach many people who tend to come to my page, and they can look it up for themselves, believe it or not, that's all on them. It's not for me to tell you a way of life, because it's for you to figure out your way of life. But the action of foretelling, and being a prophet and being a seer, when you go back to the etymology of a word, it goes back to the original term of it all being connected, from the divine source, which is God. And so what really bothers me is how some religions and some spiritualities tend to say, oh, tarot reading is of sin, or tarot reading is of the devil. But then yet, being a prophet is okay. Laying hands on people is okay. Using herbs and other natural things is okay. But yet the same type of the same type of seeing and or speaking is low-key considered the same. Because let's think about it. God is a supernatural force. Allah, Elohim, all of the names that they have for God. It's a supernatural force because we cannot see it with our naked eye. Okay. And so with God being a supernatural force, demons are also a supernatural force. Angels are a supernatural force. Anything that we really cannot see with the naked eye is more so a spirit and or supernatural force. So how would we denote that something was incorrect on one end and then fully correct on the other end, even though they're kind of the same?
Okay, so here's what you have to understand about shirk. Shirk is not just getting knowledge from a supernatural source. It's getting knowledge from a supernatural source other than the God. So we believe that God already. Okay, so do you believe in the will of God? That God has a will for everybody. God has a plan for everybody.
I do believe that God has a plan for everyone. And I also believe that with that being said, everyone's plan is different on this earth. And that does not mean that it has to be associated with one specific thing.
Yeah, so here's the thing. In Islam, when we say shirk, it refers to the sin of associating partners with Allah or attributing divine qualities or power to anything other than God. We believe in the cult, including idols or deities or even human beings.
So you believe that tarot reading is a direct, or the way that your belief system is, believes that tarot reading is a direct, basically directly against God.
Yeah, we believe that it's what's it called? It attributes a divine quality to or a power to something other than Allah, because we believe that he's the only God. He's the Almighty God. We don't believe that there's anyone. We don't believe that he has a son or that he has a father or that he has a wife.
Okay, no problem. So my question is, if he is the one and only, and yet, all of you all are prophets, or some of you all, excuse me, let me not say that. There are some of you all who are prophets. So in the same manner that the prophets get their messages, some of us seers also get our messages. And so I'm the only reason I'm asking this is because I did have a Christian in the live before saying that my form of divination was of the devil. However, I don't need cards to say anything to any person. I've had my gifts since I was born and raised in the church, and my gift has never left me. So would you guys normally say that because people are using tarot cards that they are basically going against God, the way that your belief system is set up?
So we believe that you're going against the oneness of God, and you believe because again, being a seer or fortune teller is very generally seen as a sin. or haram in Islam, because it involves using supernatural means to gain knowledge or insight, which again just goes against the teaching of the Quran and the prophets. And us Muslims were encouraged to seek knowledge and guidance through lawful means such as prayer or the Quran or the teachings of the Islamic scholar and leaders. But you also have to, like, this is important to note, the interpretations of, like, the applications of Islam can
Okay, so here's
or
my
teachings can
question here.
vary.
Because the etymology of the word prophet is to be a seer. You foretell. So if the etymology of the word prophet is to foretell, and a seer also foretells, how is that not directly connected to the same thing? I'm just curious, not being disrespectful.
Okay, so in Islam, what a prophet is a messenger, sent by Allah to deliver his message to humanity according to the belief, to an Islamic belief, which is submitting your will to God. By the way, whenever I
Okay.
say Islamic, don't take the word as in context. So we
Okay.
believe that Allah has sent these prophets to guide humanity through history and deliver message, and have the messages delivered by these prophets of a form of a basic Islamic faith and practice. So prophets in Islam, they're chosen by Allah to give and given the ability to perform miracles and demonstrate the truth of their message. But they're also, like, considered to be exemplary role models for Muslims, and their life and teachings are to be studied and emulated by Muslims around the world.
Okay. And I only ask that because both being a prophet and a seer is basically the same thing. And being a messenger, you're basically telling a message, you're giving a message from the divine. When you're a prophet, you are prophesying a message and giving a message from the divine. So I honestly believe that they're kind of one and the same and just seen differently in different
Exactly.
religions. Because it
Yeah,
sounds
Exactly.
but
the
I was
same
thinking
when
the
you're being
same
honest
thing.
with you.
one
I was
thing in
thinking the
Islam,
same thing.
we do believe that the final prophet was the Prophet Muhammad. We believe that was the final message that Allah would send to us, and it would be the final message that would be held for thousands of years and not changed. So that's our main belief. So we don't believe that just anyone can, if anyone just talks to us. So I'm hearing an echo from somebody. So, sorry, as I was saying, we believe that Prophet Muhammad is the final prophet in Islam, and we believe that his message is going to be the final message for us Muslims. And we don't believe that anyone who can use supernatural resources or supernatural means is just called upon the word prophet.
From the etymology, I go to the main etymology dictionary. It never says soothsayer. What it says is, hold on one second. Let me pull it up. What it says is that they are a person who makes predictions, who can foresee or foretell, messenger, visionary. Yeah, I see nothing about the word soothsayer. I would like to know what etymology dictionary you Yeah, I understand what he's trying to say as well. I just wanted to get a little bit of a clarity.
And you asked the question, are there any common spiritual beliefs shared by those who believe in God? I think that's an awesome question, especially in the climate right here in TikTok or other social media platforms. You know, we're trying, and I think that we should try to find commonality as opposed to finding what's so different about each other. And the one thing that stands out to me is what you said about Muhammad and how he got his message or the Quran through an angel, through Gabriel. And a lot of folks, spiritual people who practice different modalities, spiritual modalities such as tarot and divination, which is basically a form of divination. It's just that particular word has been given a bad rep, right? You know what I mean? But it has a lot to do with the divine or being guided by the divine. And you just said that Muhammad basically was guided by Gabriel. And that's what a lot of us as spiritualists, well, I'm new at all of this. This is all new to me and I'm loving it. I'm loving what I'm learning. And I really believe spirit is working with me. Okay. As spirit is working with collectively, right? That it's just done different in different ways, but it's all one and the same. Like she said, like Muhammad got his message through Gabriel. Who's to say that collectively is not getting her message through whatever angel that assists her? You see what I'm saying? You see how common it is, like, and I'm sure even in your religion, in Islam and in Christianity, there are certain practices that you don't even realize is considered
Lunch before we get
sorcery,
here.
is considered divination. I can name a couple of things, especially in Christianity, that is clearly sorcery or divination. You see what I'm saying? And I'm not saying,
In a few of the
one.
religions, everyone has a little bit of something that's surrounded around sorcery slash divination. I mean, let's think about it. In Christianity, when we used to lay hands on people and use oil, you know what I mean? We were healing people of a particular ailment that we claimed that power came from God. When they would prophesy, they would stand there and they would use their clairaudient and clairvoyant gifts to be able to hear and claim they hear from the Most High while they're prophesying to
Mhm.
you in church. And so a lot of these religions all interconnect and intersect low key the same way. I'm glad that we built this platform so that everyone can learn from everyone, to see what's out there and begin to have a respect on why people believe and think different, just like him. He believes what he believes and he falls in line with that, and that is what it is. Christianity is also the same way. They believe Jesus is God. Some people, some of them believe God is God. They believe in the all in all, the beginning and the end, whatever. Everyone's belief system when it comes to religion is connected to just that religion. I'm happy to hear that they believe in learning from different people in different ways. But out in the US, most religions aren't like that. And so in spirituality, I feel we need to do our best to try to be open, honest, and learn, because that's the only way that we can really advance. So me being spiritual, I'm always going to leave myself open. That's why I'm not connected to only one religion, because I feel one religion boxes us in. That's me.
So yeah, this is like what you said. How a religion. This is what I love about Islam. That again, like it actually, as I was saying earlier, we're inspired by the prophets to research other religions, because again, we believe in Jesus, we believe in Moses, we believe in Adam, we believe in a lot of the prophets. Like we believe that they were messengers of God, and we should look into their message as well, other than just uh, following one single prophet.
Okay.
But yeah, if you have any other questions, I'm open to it.
You know what? Thank you so much for being a part of the live today. And this is why I have these respectful lives. So for everyone who is here, if you did not know, the beautiful gentleman who is speaking is from Dubai. And so I love that my lives go across the entire world, because I've had people from Croatia in here who was able to tell me that they don't even know anything about Christianity, at least the majority of them. I have had people from Jamaica book calls with me. I've had people in Denmark come into my life. So no, he's not going to leave yet. I've definitely had a mixture of people, and I love to hear the difference in belief systems from everyone. So if you guys have a couple more questions for him while he's here, I am going to relinquish the floor to some of you guys, so that you may ask him. Well, then come up, Afro, if you have a question. Get your butt up here.
Right, get up here, girlie.
Right. Come on up here.
And this is not a question, but I love the fact that he mentioned about oneness.
Yeah.
But if
Yeah, okay, there you go.
look
Literally,
now.
Let me shut up.
No, you good, you good. I
this
want y'all to look. You see my second question? Are there any common spiritual beliefs shared by those who believe in God? Did y'all notice how we was able to bring together a bunch of commonalities?
mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
Absolutely.
Go ahead.
The whole time I'm thinking I got my request in, you just ignoring me, y'all.
No.
Girl, the request wasn't in at all. I'm just waiting for no reason. Man, but my question is not even really, hey, how y'all doing? My name is Afro High Priestess. I love all of you. I'm just chilling
Me
today.
too.
I'm not doing too much, not too much of nothing. Just a quick question for you, sir. And like, I'm not a disrespectful person. I just always wanted to ask, like,
Yeah,
a
go ahead.
Muslim this information. Like, why do you like not you, but why is it a cultural thing to treat women the way that they treat women over there? And it's not nothing to do
Okay,
with partiality. It's just more so like exactly like
so
why
Well, he
yeah, okay,
did
so
talk about some of that. Go
I
ahead.
don't think I was in here. I don't think I was in here. I think I said when I
yeah,
said
Yeah, they
I
believe it's
came
their
late
women
probably.
50-50, like equal.
yeah. So again,
Is
we
it
don't
just over
understand the
here
amount of
then?
respect.
Is it just like it could be just be an America thing?
Yeah, so I'll tell you something even about me when I got married. So
Hmm.
I'm a very conservative Muslim, so I didn't do a relationship. I didn't have a relationship. So what I would do if I want to get married, for example, is if I like a girl, if I like how she looks, how her personality is, I would actually go propose to her. I would go to her dad. I'd say I'd like your daughter's hand in
Be right
marriage. He
back.
would pat me
Continue,
down.
y'all.
Yeah, he would pat me down. He would find out what I am and who I am,
Trades
and basically
off the road on the ocean
if I
up in
wanted
the
to date
bone
his daughter
factories
later,
are
it
all.
would be through a proposal. So I would go out with her and all of that, and then if everything works out in the end, I would marry her. If it doesn't, then she gets to leave. So uh, after not getting in a relationship, she kept her most important thing, which is her integrity.
I say.
So this is a big thing we believe. We don't believe in relationships. We don't believe in any of that. If I like a girl, if I feel like this girl is the one for me, I would go to her dad, and then I would be able to talk to her through that. So she would have her integrity, and I would have mine.
So that may be just an American thing, possibly, because I've seen like how the Muslim men treat their women here, and it's just detestable. It's like disgusting. Like they talk to them any kind of way and yell at them in public and hit them in public, and it's like, dang.
Yeah, no, we don't. Okay, so Islam does not believe in violence at all. We don't believe in offense at all. So again, you have to note it down that cultural practice and traditions may vary across Muslim majority countries, and some of these practices may not exactly align with the Islamic teachings. So
Mhm.
you have to differentiate between cultural practice and religious teachings when discussing the role of a or the status of a woman in Islam. But generally, it's a 50-50.
Okay, that's good, Jan. I think y'all need to go rub off on the ones that's over here, 'cause they do too
Yeah,
much.
even my wife, my wife does not. Okay, so even in Islam, when it comes to financial, it's not 50-50. Financial, it's my money is our money and her money is her money.
I like that. I
Yeah,
like that
so
practice.
so I pay the rent, I do all of this, uh, I but if she has her dream, she can go over that, and that's her money. But my
I
money,
get
we share
that.
it together.
I love this. I need.
Yeah, so it might be different in a cultural type of way there in the US, but definitely here in Dubai, if she could go over her dreams, she could do what she wants. It's a very 50-50 in a household.
Well, thank you for sharing that. I really didn't have no other question. That was the only question that's been on my mind. But I
Of
guess
course,
I
of
had
course.
missed the answer before I came because I was on. I don't know, y'all. I keep on getting dragged to Christian TikTok. I don't know how I'm getting over there. Don't know how I'm getting over there. My dad beat us either way.
All right, I'm
Dang.
back, guys. Sorry about that. What did I miss?
But of course,
Oh, that's basically learning that his money is their money and her money is her money, and I support it.
I never
He's
knew
definitely
that.
a
Y'all
modern
stop
Muslim.
playing.
Exactly. I support that.
I think I forgot how to pronounce her name, but she's asking to come up.
I'm sorry, excuse
You
me.
want me to drop
Yes, I
down?
tried to
Um,
add her. Hold on one second. Let me add her one more time. It says there was a network error. Let me click again. Add. Hold on one second. Guest. I just sent you a guest invite. You have to accept it. Yeah, one more can get up there. They've made it to
Have you
a.
seen
Okay.
Oracle lately?
Okay, got it. So I'm gonna
Oracle's
go ahead
going
and
through some
drop
things. She
down.
personally texted me.
Thank
She'll be
you.
okay. You're welcome. Thank you for
Okay.
coming up, baby.
Till I asked about it, I'm sending prayers to her.
Okay.
Um, my bad.
Thank you so much for coming up, baby. And did you have another question you wanted to ask?
I did not. I'm excited about going to start my research. I really am.
Okay. For those of you guys who are
Yeah.
here, if you ever want any old books, definitely don't hesitate to check the link in my bio. I will send them to you immediately. It'll be over 150 or more PDFs that I send to you. And start digging. So it's up to y'all what y'all want to do. I'm here for it. I help whatever I
Okay,
can.
Emma. Okay, my
I will
phone
say
just won't
something
let
though,
me
like a
go
lot of
forever.
I will say something though that you might hear from a lot of Christians about Islam in general. So a lot of Christians follow the media about Islam being a very aggressive religion, which it completely is not, by the way. Uh,
Well, that's good to know.
they will, yeah. So Islam does not promote offense, but it promotes self-defense.
Hmm.
Mm. You will agree that there are extreme sects of that claim to be
Sectors.
that claim to, yeah,
Sectors.
right, sectors, right? You would agree though, right?
Yeah, of course, there's
Yeah,
extremists in every religion, but
that's true.
majority of Muslims, especially if you go to Egypt, if you go to Dubai, all of this, you're gonna see that it's a very peaceful area to be in. You
Mm,
might run into some extremists there and there, but of course that's for every religion.
right.
So
You're
it's the
right.
people. It's the people. It's not the religion
Yeah,
itself.
it's
Ask in
yeah.
Yeah,
Christianity.
right. Right.
We
That
got
part, yeah. Hmm.
okay. So for those of you guys who are here, let's deal with some of the questions at hand who are still up here, so that we can see. And if anyone else would like to join, you are more than welcome to. Um, I would like for Mr. Dever Jones to come up here, but he ain't got 1,000 followers. I need you to get your butt up to 1,000 followers so you can get in these discussions. Yes, I'm calling you
You don't
out,
need a
Mr.
thousand followers.
Jones. um,
You don't need 1,000 followers to be a guest.
yeah,
I
you
don't have
do in
a
the
thousand
US,
followers.
which is crazy.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
So,
Wow, yeah, she's still trying to come up, but you just sent her request. Does she know
okay,
how to? Yeah, I'm sure she knows how to do that. It's to accept the request.
I sent it. It should come up on her screen.
Here I am at
Oh, there
last.
you are.
Okay, so
Thank you. How are you, Queens
I am wonderful. How are
and
you? Thank
King?
you for joining us.
I'm doing great. Lots of healing. I love this healing journey, and it's beautiful to step into my true self. And I wish that
Mhm.
to all.
Yes, same to you. Beautiful.
Yes.
You have
But
such
my
a beautiful. We
question,
we got a chance to talk on another live. You have such a beautiful spirit,
well,
beautiful
that's the only
energy,
way to get. I cannot be nothing else unless I want to be miserable. And believe me, I did enough of that already.
and you're in Africa, right? South Africa, right?
No, I live in the UP, Michigan. I do. I'm writing a book because I do have quite a story. But beside that, what interesting me is like, I really believe in synchronicity. Are you
Hmm.
girls, do you feel me? It's like, I
Yes,
believe that
absolutely. Hmm.
when I start my day with greatness, and feel grateful, and I'm just opening myself to be open to all the lesson that I need, right? And
Mm-hmm.
TikTok is such a wonderful tool for that because my mother, first of all, I was saying collectively, I knew, that I was gonna follow this queen. So, you need to find the right wording to understand if you are among your tribe, and what
Hmm.
I
Thank
mean by tribe, it's like human being that they just want to try their best to be better. That's simple. And my mother was a devoted Muslim, right? And I know that, if you are like a Muslim man, you should not touch the money of your wife, right? But at the same
of
time, my
course.
mom is the same one that she told me that a woman is worth 50 and a man is worth 100. And that's why I never even pursue. that, because what I noticed in my life, that when I follow religion because I was looking for acceptance, it was always about judgment and the rejection. Just for asking question, because I want to deeply understand something. I just don't want to do it because I like you. I've been doing that all my life. So, and when you dare to ask the question, you're being looked upon as bad. How dare you? You're gonna go in a bad place. And so I lived in pain, and they beat me to submission. But so as a 53-year-old, to have the courage to live my true self, because I'm not out to hurt nobody, just to ask the question. So why is 50 and 100?
May I say something? Your mom probably said so. Okay, so this may be different for different people or families or whatever, but your mom is going to say that because she's the wife. A man would say the opposite because he's the husband. It's, but I have a couple of friends that are, actually, I have friends all over in different religions. And a lot of different religions say kind of the same thing, and it may be different for your mom or how she was raised, but your mom or females, a lot of females that I know that are in different types of religion, especially in the Middle East, because they are very much so going to put their partner forward, would say that as the wife is worth 50% and then the husband's worth 100%, or however they would word it. So it's kind of a well, I am the low man on the totem pole, even though I maybe am not, but to me I am.
Mm,
Does that make sense?
mm. To some extent, I always saw my mom always get the bad end of the stick, or the deal. It's like, even from childhood, it's like they make this woman having. My mom was going, when I was saying, I was confronting her, it's like, why did you raise me with this pain? She was like, well, I give you more than I had. And now that she's no longer here, I can honestly, she gave me education, and she never made me go and get mutilated. She had that done to her in the name of religion. And that's also a true. I'm not speaking, I know they're uncomfortable, but they're true. And those are part of it. And that's
Right.
why I love TikTok. I would like to
Wait, I
ask
have a question
why.
for you.
Yeah.
Sure.
Did you say you were forced into the Shahada or submission?
Um, Well, it's like how you say is like when you're a child and you ask the question and you get smacked for it, you realize right away that you no longer want to ask the question. That's what I'm trying to say.
Okay, so here's the thing. As I was saying earlier, this has to be a cultural thing, and definitely does not go with Islamic rule. Because even there are conditions for accepting Islam, right? So there is knowledge, there is certainty, there's acceptance, there's submission, there's sincerity, and then there's love. Those are the conditions for accepting Islam. So, and
Right?
again, I don't know if what your mom meant by the woman is 50 and the husband is 100, but like I can tell you from my experience as a married Muslim man that my wife is everything to me. I would jump in front of a car for her. She is the world for me. I would not do anything that would hurt her. So again, this might be a cultural thing uh, that your mom had to go through, but it definitely does not align with the Islamic conditions or Islamic rulings.
So let me ask
Maybe
you a
it's
Okay.
question.
all the
Oh, that's
Muslims just aren't
beautiful.
like you.
I
I
have a
never met a
question.
Muslim man that's like you.
Yes,
Like
And
you're
you
we
the
know
and
what?
we
first
never
one.
have.
A diamond
He
in
What
the
is
what is
rough.
your
awesome.
name, by the way?
My name?
Yeah, your first name.
Yeah,
My name is Adam.
Adam? Okay.
Adam.
Yeah. Nice to
So,
meet you,
Okay.
Adam.
thank you.
Adam, you are
Thank you
more
for
than
You're
done.
welcome to come
you-
to my
you're
live.
Yeah.
awesome,
Yes, sir.
Adam.
Thank you
And you
guys.
know
You're
what? It's
awesome.
shocking to me to see how, and that's what where you see wisdom in a man. Those are the
Mhm.
kind of men that we really need to lift up, because how he answered to me, I really appreciate it.
I have a
because
question.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not coming from a place of judgment or pointing finger, not at all. I just want to understand, in the same part, my uncle, he passed, he was a great Muslim, is
Allah
he
yarham.
married just
Mm-hmm.
one woman in all of his life, and he was that nice looking man, and he said that as the way that he read the Quran, he said, you man, if you can married multiple women with the same love, don't even give 1 cent more to the other, because if you do that, you're sinning in front of a God. Then you can, but because there's no human being that can do that, that's what my uncle understood, that he could just deal with loving one woman. He cannot love two women, and that's the beauty of it. You see beautiful people like yourself and my uncle, and then you see the unhealed people that they are giving a very bad message.
There's a lady in
Yeah.
the comments said that her brother's wife is not able to be seen nor heard. Like that is
Right.
hurtful, man.
And she has to be totally covered, especially out in the open.
I pray that
Like
she's
only
okay.
thing,
Me too, man.
No.
yeah.
So yeah, there's
But
I
they're
also
have a
okay
couples.
with it
question
though.
to
So
Adam. Mr. Adam,
Yeah. So
I've ran across quite a few of believers of the same faith that you have. Maybe they're extremists, but I was told over the years that they believe in chastising their women, like how you would chastise a child. Is this
so
true?
huh?
Huh?
Chast. I'm sorry. I don't know what that word is. I have to
Um,
look it up.
discipline,
whooping,
discipline.
Like
discipline.
Oh,
teasing, beatings. Like,
Whoa.
she said, "Whoa."
No.
Yeah, see, this is what I'm so curious as to. I don't mean to take it. That's not. It's not really spiritual, but it's a part of low key what I've heard from what your faith system is out here in the U.S. And to hear you speak the way that you do, you need to be teaching people because I don't understand. What they,
That's
I
that's the
have to
reason
say,
I'm on TikTok.
my cousin's husband. Well, he's no longer here. He's transitioned, but he never would have tried that with my cousin. They had a beautiful marriage, right? He and she'll tell you he was just like the best thing that ever happened to her, and he was a devout like Muslim, and so was she, and she still is. She's still a Muslim after he left. She never remarried or anything like that, but no, he never tried that with my cousin ever. I
you
don't know if
think?
he ever,
I'm
you know what I'm
sorry.
saying? So it
Yeah,
really
Tina.
depends.
Tina, do you think that it could be like more so based off that actual character of that man versus the religion? Like,
maybe.
Right.
I don't know.
Adam, have you ever
Yeah.
heard of them putting hands on their women in your country?
No. So here's the thing. Especially in my area in Dubai, I live in a place called Sharjah, which is basically a family area and all of that. If a man is heard to have beaten his wife in this area, everyone would fully lose this. People would beat him up because we don't
Hmm.
believe in that. We believe in the husband putting his wife above him in every situation. Like even if you argue, and if a husband. So here's the thing, as me as a Muslim, if I argue with a wife, if I argue with my wife, and I know she's wrong and I know I'm right, I will still say that she is right. I will still, just so I can calm everything down. I will never, like a lot of us Muslims here in this area especially, will never put our hands on our wives.
How do I get a citizenship there? Citizenship.
Please and thank you.
Right, right, right,
I'm so happy
right.
to hear that.
But
I'm
then
so
again,
happy
I
to
can't wear
hear
my
that.
shorts out there. I'm not coming out there. I like my shorts.
You like
Can
your
I say Can I
Yeah.
say something on that subject? Because the host, the beautiful queen, was asking, saying like, how come what you're saying there is not going here, right? It's the same religion, right? But that it takes us back. If you want to see, is like you remember Malcolm X while he was under, when he found Islam. And then
Mhm.
when he did his own research and he found the true Islam, he came back with a different perspective. And that's
hmm
why things happened the way they did, right? So,
Mhm.
and that's why they want to remove these apps because it connect us. It's
Mm,
like when we stay
Yes.
in our little cocoon or our people, we're being told never speak with another religion. They are
right.
bad, right?
Hmm.
And when
Hmm.
in reality we have places like this, it's not true.
That's right.
So that's the secret, and that's what I think is my mission. On top of, I'm in this lifetime to I used to say break the generational curse. No, I'm here to start generational healings,
Me too.
and
Yes,
this is
indeed.
part of it.
Here to
So
heal
for
I'm
my
for
here
people.
as
everyone
a
who is
human to
here,
a human.
for everyone who
Tap
is
the
here,
screen.
I want y'all to know one thing. Um, I would like for y'all to make sure y'all follow me over to the CLAPPER app, because that's where we're going to start having our discussions, because they're less monitored over there, and they're less removed over there, and we can have radio discussions from up to, hi baby, some of my people from the collective consciousness and Clapper are over here. Thank you guys for being here. We're building a family over there. And in the collective conscious chat, we chat about everything. I'm always going to drop discussions in there. I'm going to build a radio. Actually, as soon as I get off this live, I'm going to go over there and start the radio, and up to 100 people can talk. No face,
Oh,
no
wow.
face, but everyone can talk. Everyone can be a part. Over 2,000 people
Oh,
can
wow.
listen. So
Where is
we're
that again? What is it?
CLAPPER.
Uh-huh. Oh, okay. I never heard of it.
And if you click
Wow.
the link in
Okay.
my bio, you will see to where I'm having people to come over there for these discussions, so that we can be
Mm-hmm.
able to talk in peace, talk in private. I'm still going to have them over here, but just in case something goes bad, y'all gotta go over there.
So
Oh, for
if I go
sure.
to your page, there is a link where I can click and they just
Yep, if
take
you
me
go to
there.
my page, you'll see sign
Perfect.
up, and then right next to sign up, you'll see the link. And the great thing about it is you do not have to have 1,000 followers to go live. We can all talk immediately.
That's
Oh my
I
awesome.
heard
goodness.
it.
That's
Wow, that is
awesome.
So
awesome.
I need y'all to come on over, because eventually I'm gonna stop my conversations on this app, and I'm gonna bring it over there, because they are adult only. And they do not care about many things unless you're nude.
And you know what, to be honest with you, wow, I'm so glad. See, I think Spirit made sure I stayed a little bit longer because I needed to hear that, because I've been hesitant about sharing my gift that was graciously handed down to me. And, I really appreciate the journey. And like, even when it comes to like this question, are there any common spiritual beliefs shared by those who believe in God, right? You know, you can only, when you start talking about metaphysical and esoteric and and spiritual gifts, people just automatically put you in the weird box. And I don't mind
They do.
being considered weird, but it's like I want to be my true self. I can't help that I am who I am. I am that I am. And but with TikTok, you always, I shouldn't say that. I didn't mean to say TikTok
You're
because I
fine.
don't want anybody to get banned. But like you're what's the word? Not just monitored, but they put hey, what is the word? Can't even think of
A
it. But
cap
anyway,
on you?
you can't freely
Gaslighting.
say what
The
you want to
freedom of
say,
speech is
huh?
a
They
problem. Yeah.
gaslight you.
Mhm.
Gaslight you. That's a European thing. It started. That's what they do. When they cannot comprehend you, then you're off the team. I
Yeah.
know. It's
And
so
Mm-hmm.
one
good.
young lady, she actually had her content removed. How do you do that? Like, people
Well,
can
see,
go in
here's the
and
thing.
remove your content just
Here's the
simply
thing. It's
because
the
they don't
people.
agree with
Queen,
you?
It's the
queen.
people. So
We,
you got
we
to think
are we
about
are
it.
not.
When I
Yeah,
first
we
started
can go
on
to
this
speak
app,
about this in the radio.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I say we need to have this conversation at the radio. I can be more free
Yeah.
because I said
Got
we
you,
are here
got you,
for a
Oh, I'm
got
reason.
going
you.
We're
over
here
there
for a
as soon as
reason.
I end this one, so that we can talk. Because on those radio stations, we literally don't have to worry about all this that we worry about over here. Just so you know, over there, you don't have to worry about saying unalive and being all special with y'all words. You can talk freely.
Right?
That's why I'm taking us over there.
I love it. Right. But you know what? I remember, being a Jehovah's Witness, and I'm not trying to, bash Jehovah's Witnesses because a
That's
lot of
where I
my
met you
family
from.
members, yes, a lot of my family members are witnesses and I love them. You know what I'm saying? I think I was a lovable person. I really, and I'm still a lovable person, but I'm just saying I'm not bashing the people. I'm not feeling the religion. And that goes for all religions. But anyway, I remember, I don't know if y'all know any of the beliefs of Jehovah's Witnesses, but they believe that only 144,000 people are going to heaven,
And that
right?
didn't
And the
sit
rest
right
of,
with me.
huh?
That did not
Eh,
sit right with me. Cause I'm
Right.
too good of a person. Like if what you mean, I gotta hear a song to sing to know if Jehovah gonna let me into heaven. No, I spread love and
I'm
light,
just
peace
gonna
and joy
can,
everywhere I
can,
go.
And so,
can I just say one thing on that? Is like,
well,
uh,
I just want,
Let her finish
okay.
first, please.
yes, go ahead.
Okay.
I'm sorry to interrupt you. I'm sorry, ma'am.
So real quick, I'll try not to be long-winded. So here's like the common thing that I experience as a Jehovah's Witness that I'm experiencing even now, right? That 144,000 go to heaven. I got this awakening. I got this download, this awakening that it was something that I can't even really describe. It was definitely spirit. After reading a particular scripture, I fell down to my knees and I started bawling. And I was saying, based on the dogma, right? I was saying to God, no, 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 not me. Because Jehovah's Witnesses believe that, you can live just as much a beautiful life on earth, on the paradise earth, as you can in heaven. So I'm like, I don't want to die to go to heaven. I want to live right here on earth. Even if I die, I want to come back to the earth because I love the earth. I'm a nature person anyway. So I'm like, I don't want to go to heaven. And so when this happened based on the dogma, I was like, no, not me. I'm like, I just immediately felt like that's what God was doing based on the dogma. That's based on the doctrine. But it was something that grabbed that like it was something. It was spirit that a lot of us spiritual people feel today, right? So I remember that. And then once I went through this awakening where it's like, okay, no, you got to let this go as well. This whole religious thing, you got to let go. I experienced the same thing, the same feeling when, okay, so Christians or people that read the Bible, they go to the Bible specifically to get answers. That's like that's almost like that's a tool. That's a spiritual tool. Whether you call it a holy Bible or not, it's still and a lot of people use it as talismans. They think it's like there's something magical with the Bible, and they keep it open and all of this stuff. Because it brings good luck if you have your Bible open, and it keeps the bad spirits out. Those are the same. That's like divination. That's sorcery. It's the same thing, and that same feeling that I had when I thought that God was calling me to heaven, I feel like God, it has confirmed, or I'm sorry, not just God, but everything that there is, like the universe, the cosmos, all the synchronicities that I get, that I am on the right path. And just using a little tool, which is like a training wheel to help you understand what spirit is all about, to help you understand your intuition. You use these little training wheels until you don't have to use them anymore, right? Because now you trust your intuition. You trust that spirit or the angel that's got not angel, but the spirit guides that's guiding you, right? It's the same type of thing. If y'all understand what I'm saying, I know this because I experienced that as like a diehard convicted Jehovah's Witness, and now more of a spiritual person, still believing in God, but in a totally different way. I don't look at God the same way I looked at God when I was in the religion. You
Yeah.
understand what I'm saying? So I don't know if I
Yeah.
confused
So,
y'all.
Here,
The spirit
children.
works either way.
but Queen, I
Yes.
feel for you. So you're telling me that you were a witness and you're no longer a witness. Is that what you're telling
I
me?
was too. I was a Christian.
And guess what? That is even worse because when I met you, I told you that it is synchronicity. I needed to meet you at that moment because I was confused that day because I was doing Bible study, right? And it
Hmm.
was all good. I do believe that this earth was to meant to be our paradise. I do believe that that's just the one that the divine will choose. There will be the one that will show the better way. I do believe many things. Do you know where they got me that I said, I'm not doing this? They told me to remove this ring. That's
Right.
how they got me. They sold me in everything else. I'm about love. I'm about, waiting that, you know, people wake up, but when they told me this, that's how they lost me. That's how, because what I realized, they're doing the same thing of every other religion. I have a growth, and I did this as an adult woman. I won. This is part of me. This is what I choose for me. If somebody is telling me that I have to remove that to be part of their team, they're asking to change me. No, because I'm here trying to love people and be accepted in the love that I can give. If you're telling me that and then they told me, well, you just have to remove it while you're in the Kingdom Hall or at witnessing. It's like, oh, hypocrisy on top. So I
Mhm.
can do it in certain place, but in certain place I play another part of me. No, I'm not doing that. This is who I am, like it or not.
Right. I just feel like the reason why I brought it up is because of the question. I'm just finding, I'm having like these aha moments. I'm like, well, wait a minute. I had these same feelings, not, it's just more than feelings. It's more than that. It's a knowing, it's an inner knowing. And knowing now that I'm more in touch with God, I'm more linked closer to God than I ever was. You know, um, not
Yes, and you
practicing any
help me.
particular religion. You see what I'm saying?
And you help
But
me.
but but
And
we're
it
doing
helps me.
some of the same things. We really are doing some of the same things.
But
Yeah.
Queen, just
Yes,
take
ma'am.
comfort in the fact that you helped me. And
Oh,
the other queen that said I used to be too, this confirmed that there are beautiful people and you don't have to be part of their team. If that's how they do it, it's not the place I belong. That's all.
right.
So
And I
thank you.
feel like I feel so much relief that I can have these open conversations with people all over the world, with souls, beautiful souls all over the world, and not judge them, right? Like I just love this conversation with Adam. Like I really appreciate him, and we're able to see the finer things about him. Like, you understand what I'm saying? Just the humanity, his humanity, the way he speaks about his wife. Those are beautiful things. Those are things that we need to highlight more than the differences. And the more I think we, you know, first of all, we got to really get to know who we are. And see, the thing is, when I was in that religion, my identity was was all about whatever the hierarchy said I was, basically. The doctrine said I was this and I was that. I was just a friend of God. The doctrine said that, you know what I'm saying, that they told me what my purpose was, which was to preach and teach and not be of the world, and don't go to college and don't pursue secular, all these things, so it was like very limiting, and so I feel so
It's
free.
purposely done. It's purposely done because
Yeah, which most
after
most
that
religions are
happened
like
to me,
that. Yeah.
you
Yeah.
see, that's what they did. They didn't know that by telling me to remove this, what they make me, I have another side of me. It's like, now I no longer trust you. So I will go and dig in. So that's one thing that I noticed. And I thought even with my ex-husband that he was a witness, but he was, he quit. So his own family wasn't talking to him anymore. And because I loved him, and when I see problem, I used to wanted to fix it. I told him to go back to the religion to have a relationship with his older parents. And I didn't know that I was helping him to go in deeper lost. And I'm sorry. And I did that. And now I realize it. But oh well. And many of his cousins, they were saying, why you want him to go back to it? You don't know what you're doing. It's like, if you like your marriage, now they make sense, right? But hey, I cannot, blame myself. I did it out of love. I saw these older parents. But now that went deeper, I'm so glad that I'm not.
I told you I got my first piercing, my nose piercing, on the 20 on spring equinox. So, start of something new. and I've always wanted to do it, but
I have
because
my
of the
go-tos
religion,
too.
I didn't do it. So I got mine. I'm so happy. I don't know what to do.
You know, here's the thing, guys. I believe that religion itself is not entirely bad. I believe it's the people that make
Right.
it bad. Because sometimes people do need structure. They actually do need people until they grow into themselves and learn their power. When they're coming out of a dark
Hmm.
place, they kind of need people to tell them what to do, right? Because otherwise they're all
Yeah.
over the place. They're lost. They don't know where to go, what to do, how to, once they're changing and rearranging things in life, they don't know how to function, right? And
You're
so
right.
for the
Hmm.
people that don't know how to function but need a little bit of guidance, I feel like religion is perfect for them because it helps to build structure. For the people who are more advanced and more spiritual and know themselves and believe and trust in their faith and their power, and are, you know, excelling, I believe need to be more spiritual because they'll be more open to everything that God has to offer instead of being kind of bogged down by religion.
Yes,
Hmm.
Queen. But can I tell you something, Queen? It's like, so I become who I become, and the healing is like getting rid of the addiction, right?
Mhm.
Just spending time in self destruction, right?
Yes.
So
Hmm.
it's true. The Bible study really helped me, and I'm still keeping the Bible because where there is like a judgment belongs to Jehovah. I totally agree. That's half of the problem. Is like we're so busy pointing finger to others, and we
Right.
forget that we need to do work on ourselves.
Correct.
So I
Absolutely.
understand. But when you have that kind of connection, right? To realize that I invest all the time and trust them for telling me at the end when I have my heart open, oh, it's not right how you are. You need to remove your nose piercing. That and people like you going on TikTok is helping me to say, hey, that was a bad experience, but you're still a good person.
Correct.
Keep on searching. You know what I mean? Other people, they're not that strong. Do you understand?
No,
And
they're
that's
not.
what I have a problem. You say that you want to help, but you're really not.
Like, what bothers me the most is most of the religions that tend to go around saying everything is evil. Terror is evil. This is evil. Incense is evil. Crystals is evil. Crystals is of the earth. It is made of God's earth. They come out of the rocks of the
Hmm.
earth. They are not man-made. Incense are used by
Hmm.
almost every religion in the world, and a different
Hmm.
smell for almost every religion for a different purpose.
Hmm.
Tarot cards are a tool of divination. Some other religions, they have their rosary beads in Catholicism. They have their
Hmm.
Bible in Christianity. And, everybody has something different. And I believe we should all respect each other and allow each other to, use our vices prospectively instead of continuing to tell everyone that every single thing they're doing is wrong. I think that's where the world kind of needs to get out of
Exactly.
that mind frame. What you feel is wrong for you and your home only. You and your belief system only. Leave that to you and your family. Whatever you live by, that's on you, fam. If y'all believe
Yeah.
TikTok is bad and it's messing up the minds of people and you can't find any good in it, that's for you and your family. If you believe Christianity is bad, I'm still on the fence about that because I believe it kind of is, but um, that's for you and your family. You know what I mean? Like everyone has to follow their own path, be their own
Yeah.
person and find what resonates with them. And that's what I feel my job is to be on this earth is to help everyone that feels led to work with me to find their path. That's what I believe.
So
I
true. Uh,
appreciate
uh,
I
Go ahead.
appreciate I appreciate what Christ is all about, whether he was a real person or not.
24.
I'm still on the fence with that. And what Christ represented. Love, did not judge, just had the biggest heart, right? According to the Bible. I love all of that. Now, the religion that was started several years after Jesus died, uh is different, right? It's different. And it passed down through the ages. And it just, to me, it became a lot more dogmatic and a whole lot of rules and policies that has nothing to do with how Christ lived uh, lived his life when he walked the earth, right? So and I didn't see this until I stepped outside the religion. While I was in the thick of it, I didn't see it. I believed everything that I was being taught. Now I did have, sort of some doubts about certain things when it came to women and how women were treated
Of
in
course.
the religion, and I didn't have, I had a problem with that. But for the most part, the doctrine itself, the way of life, like you said, it really wasn't bad. It protected me from a lot of things. It really did. Like it did. You see what I'm saying? But as I got older, becoming, an adult, a woman in the organization, and realizing, duh, this religion was started by man, and they've, you know, incorporated a lot of their own thinking, and want you to trust them and put your trust in them as opposed to yourself. You know what I'm saying? So that's what but it wasn't until I went through that spiritual awakening that I realized that something was wrong with that. And then when it comes
Queen,
to like,
you're good.
I'm,
You're good.
I'm,
I'm so glad you're here. I'm so glad you're here.
oh, you're
I'm
so
so glad
sweet.
you're here. I know what it took to go against everything that you only know and take that
So for
fearless,
everyone who is
it's like,
here, hold
look,
on one
I'm
second,
just
baby. Hold
unhappy.
on
I'm
one
going.
second. I'm
Yeah.
getting ready to close this up and go open the radio on the CLAPPER.
Okay.
So I'm going to bring these same questions over there. Of course, I'll have to ask each one of you the questions because the radio works a little different. It's like little bubbles for everyone. So please make sure you guys are following the Clapper, the YouTube, to be able to see my deck reviews and any other information that I don't talk about on these apps. I'll talk about in my YouTube. And so as of right now, does anyone have any closing thoughts before I go open the radio over there?
I just wanted to say something really quickly. I
Okay.
think a lot of people don't understand because a lot of things are hidden from what I would consider to be lay members. Some things are only privy to ministers and pastors and things of that nature. But one thing people, I think they fail to realize, the Bible, the Quran, the Mormon book, the Jehovah's book, they're all simply called blueprints.
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly what they're called. They're called blueprints. And it
Mm-hmm.
just gives you some basic instructions on how to be basically a good person. And every last one of them is found in the same section in the library. I want you to chew on this before I log off. They're all in the fiction section.
Thank you.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow, deep.
Yeah.
Because everyone wrote their own story. Think about it. Come on, I'm gonna piggyback off that
Yep.
before we leave. Collectively different. Right now, I could decide to write a Bible if I want to. If you look at what
Yep.
collectively different is, I have like
That's
21
right.
things I believe in. I could make those 21 things law. And then people
And
who
another
Absolutely.
thing,
And turn them into a Bible and sell them in the bookstore, and it's going to go in the same fictional section as the Bible, the Quran, the Book of the Mormons, and everywhere else. So that should tell a lot of people a lot of things. It's not in the non-fiction section. Every last one of those books in every library, bookstore, whatever, is in the same section. It's called the fiction section, which means there is a whole lot of untruths there.
you're right.
Wow.
And you
Now
know what?
I gotta
Another
go to
thing I
Barnes.
noticed,
I
another
didn't
thing
know
Can
I
I
that.
just say
noticed,
one
think
thing
about it.
before?
Think about it.
yeah,
When
sure.
it comes to spiritual stores, and
Mm.
we gonna let Adam speak, right?
Yeah.
When it comes
Mhm.
to spiritual stores, everything about your spiritual awakening, everything about your chakras, everything about energy, everything about herbalism, all those spiritual and metaphysical things are always in the spiritual stores. Have you ever seen a Bible? Have you ever seen the Quran? Have you ever seen any of these books from religions in a spiritual store?
We don't have spiritual stores in Dubai.
Yeah,
Well,
well, some
that's an idea.
places in the US don't. But if you look online, just to a metaphysical store online, you will not really find a Bible. You will not see a Quran. You will not see any of the books from any of the other religions. Why? Because those are religion. They're kind of
Divide.
they're made to be a particular thing that has like rules and regulations, and being spiritual is more open to the understanding of everything around you and not just religion.
You know, they asked me which
Uh,
religion I was once, right? Oh, Adam, sorry.
Yeah, Adam, go ahead.
yeah, it's fine. Like talking about the Quran, like as I was saying earlier, the Quran is not a man-made book, by the way. Like we don't believe it was at all. So we don't believe it's a spiritual thing to go through. We believe that God Himself sent down this book. We don't believe that it was
That's great,
man-made
but
or
if God
whatever.
Himself didn't write it, just like the Bible,
If
technically it's
exactly.
all man-made. If
It's
a
a
man wrote
man-made,
it.
or every religious book
No,
is a
that's not me being
man-made book
disrespectful.
because God is a spirit. He's not flesh, so he did come down. I mean, he might have inspired, because even the Bible's considered to be inspired by God. But it's all man-made. Every single religious book was written by man, interpreted by man, and produced and sold by man.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
no.
But
So here's the thing: we don't believe the Quran is man-made or interpreted, but we don't believe any. We believe that the Quran is the word of God, straight the word of God. We don't believe any changes by man has been made towards that time.
Yeah, the Christians believe that as well. And I completely,
you
understand and
know,
respect that point of view. But it's definitely, if it was written by one of us on this earth in a particular language, I feel believe that it is still, it was at least created or it put together by a man, is what I feel, man or woman.
And then the
But I
so
get
unfortunate
that.
thing,
and one,
because it is the youngest religion, it is a direct copy from Christianity.
Oh, I
If
didn't know that.
Christianity is man-made, yes, Islam, the Muslim faith, is a direct copy from Christianity faith. That's why the Quran and the Holy Bible are almost exact. But because
could I say
if
something?
Christianity is man-made, Islam has to be man-made because it's an exact replica of the Christian Bible. Almost the
And
exact replica
Yeah.
no, no,
with
no, no,
with
no.
Can I
small
say no,
differences.
Uh,
no?
There are
Well,
only small
Muslim would say that
differences.
Islam was first and then Christianity
It's
followed
not. Look it
Yeah,
because
they
it,
up.
would
No,
say
it's
that.
not.
But you know what?
Look
I'm
it
No,
not
up.
going to
No,
yeah.
say
it's
any
not.
of that.
You
I'm
can
just going
Google
to
it.
say
it's the
Judaism was
opposite.
before it all.
Can I say something?
Yeah,
It's
go
like
ahead.
my mom was a Muslim. My father raised me in the 70s as a Catholic because that's how you will be accepted by society. And then he converted in Islam for the wrong reason. And peace be upon him, he went as a Muslim man, and I respect that. What I'm trying to say that the only way that I was attractive to the Jehovah Witness is because they actually want to read the Bible